Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
If you really want to be one of the best brewers there is,
I stopped dressing all in plastic.
You better be brewing 5 to 6 times a week.
Every beer is made with love, and it begs to be appreciated.
I need something to kill the salmonella I'm kind of worried about in the eggs.
Do you find that that the hops kind of clash with the chicken embryo you put in there?
I might sleep here tonight.
It's a California King. There's plenty of room for both of us, Beavis.
How many of the brewers over there have seen your ass?
That's it. Someone's getting cut tonight.
All I have to say is, hey, McDowell, how you doing?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Kaboom! Bang! Flash and booming!
6 o'clock already, huh?
It's 6:03 if you want to get technical about it.
It's Monday already.
Right on time.
Monday, exactly. It's another Monday already, Tasty.
What happened?
I don't know. Time flies. We should go down to a 2 Monday a week schedule. What do you think about that, huh?
I love it.
Everyone liked my 3 Monday idea.
You want to have 2 Mondays in a week?
No.
Oh.
2, sorry, you're right. 2 shows a month.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys?
I don't like it.
What?
I like doing this show.
Then we don't get to hang out with each other as often.
Yeah, I guess.
I can have a good time without you guys.
Oh.
Yeah,
Somebody jiggle Tasty's wand.
Oh.
His
wand?
that thing there.
Oh. Yeah.
There you go. Try again.
Hello. Oh.
What's going on over there?
He needs to talk louder.
Tasty,
More forceful.
you've turned mono since last week.
I have.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I don't know what
Lost
happened.
all my
Somebody's
vibe.
been making out.
It's an odd...
It's all the spitting on the microphone.
That was
Hello?
terrible,
Hello?
Warren.
strange
What?
thing.
It's a terrible joke.
Oh. Thanks.
Oh, well.
All right.
I'll try to... Oh, there you are.
Back?
Are you stereo?
No, I'm a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
There.
Tasty's in
Welcome
stereo
back.
after all.
Hey, both sides.
I thought maybe it was the ghost of Tasty that was joining us.
Oh.
I hadn't heard anything.
Don't talk about that.
I hadn't heard that we lost you over the weekend, so...
Almost.
The hologram.
Like two parties a day was like a lot for 2 days.
Yeah, on Saturday, we had the AHA rally over at Heretic Brewing Company. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Great time out there.
The best party. It was a really good party. Had a great time. Jesus.
Jamel kind of...
He overachieved there.
Yeah, that's
like, hey, I said, wait. Back off, bro.
Sets the bar really high.
I know. Like, he's got to top that himself.
He gave away 5 gallons of wort to anybody who signed up, which was like 200 people.
Right.
He gave away a 6-pack.
Wow.
Just for showing. The AHA, I think, gave away a shirt for coming.
He had 2 free drink tickets, which they pretty much stopped taking.
At the event.
Yeah. There was a raffle.
Set up like 3 or 4 different beer stations. There was a raffle.
All right.
I mean, it just was cool. And a whole bunch of homebrewers.
The yeast for the wort, too. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
White Labs had donated the yeast.
The new packets.
BSG had very generously donated the ingredients for them to make the wort, as well as the hops.
Wow.
And there was a bunch of sacks of free grain there people were picking up. 50-pound sacks.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was amazing.
The grains sitting on the racks are not free to take. That's their inventory.
Oh, sorry.
They had full barrels that were free. You just had to pick them up.
Yeah. The fermenters were full of beer. It was great. We just emptied them.
I took 2 sacks myself, not because I brew, but because they were free. I thought. They're just sitting there on the rack.
I just dumped them on the highway. It was amazing.
So he really sets the bar for AHA rallies, man. It was Jamel knows what he's doing. So that was
great.
fun. And then
cool.
you had an event at Fieldwork too, huh?
Yeah.
Like homebrew contest?
Yeah, they had a small homebrew competition. First time they got 180 entries.
Ouch.
Wow.
Well, they're such a popular brewery, so that's not too surprising.
I like these Fieldwork guys. They're making good beer.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Everyone's good.
We have it on tap here from time to time. Tonight, we got Scratchtown Brewing Company on the program, all the way from Ord, Nebraska.
Ord.
Yeah, very small town brewery, very small brewery, as Moscow mentioned to us last week. So we're going to be talking to Caleb and Mike from Scratchtown Brewing Company. They're going to be on the show here in just a little while. We'll learn about what it's like to have a tiny craft brewery in a tiny rural town, which sounds kind of fun to me.
Yeah.
Getting out of Dodge and just hanging out with the cows and stuff.
Cows don't drink craft beer, though, nor do they have wallets with money.
Yeah, that is the tough part, isn't
That's
it?
what's curious about if there's enough customers around.
But the cows are themselves wallets.
That's true.
With money in them.
And they eat the spent grain.
Yeah.
If you take out what's within them and sell it,
yes,
they
there are multiple wallets.
And then you make a wallet out of what's left.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good point you make, JP.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been looking at getting out of Dodge.
Yeah?
I'm tired of the hustle and bustle of Concord.
Are you?
The great metropolis. It is Concord.
That is
too much.
Concord.
It's too busy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's getting the
Looking at it.
3 miles from home to here is just it's too busy.
It's too.
Okay.
Which
And
is
there's
too close to for a major downtown hub like the Todo Santo Square.
What, 5 stoplights?
It's probably, I go
that.
stop signs, but, you know, yeah.
It's like 5 stoplights and a Safeway away from work.
You yield to the blind intersection.
Yeah.
But you still drive?
But I still drive. That's the dream, I think. I don't know. For me, it's just to not be in a city, to go out.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
They don't have
permit.
They don't have high-speed internet in these these rural towns.
I've thought about every single factor.
Satellite.
Which is why I'm still in town.
Right.
Yeah.
I see. I could do it when I sell the BN for $50 or so. I think $50 goes a long way in a small town.
I think it does.
I could live a few weeks.
Yeah, well, I saw some graphic, and you can't really trust graphics on the internet, but they say like $100 in California is really equivalent to like $88. And you go to some of these Midwest states, or even up in like the Pacific Northwest, and it's closer to the actual value, which is like 100, or someone's like 103. Like your money's overvalued in these places. You get more for your.
You more for
your money.
You can live for free in the Walmart parking lot in the RV. You just move it from Walmart to Walmart.
That's true.
And you don't pay anything.
I don't think about that. About quitting and not having to work and just,
That's even too trashy for me.
taking $100.
She needs to live in a double wide community.
Yeah.
I want mine to be stationary.
Yeah.
A stationary mobile home.
You can do the BN from a small town, too.
Shut up, JP.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, let's sell our homes and move somewhere.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Be a community commune.
I really like my home, though. I just want to not work.
You can get a bigger home.
I don't need a bigger home.
You can get a better home.
I don't think so.
You can.
I like mine.
Trust me. I will send you some links. I have been looking.
You will know.
You want to be depressed for the rest of the week? Just look at Zillow.
God, I sent sent Taryn a Zillow link to some homes in Oregon or whatever, and she's like, now I can't get it out of my head about moving.
Oh.
Because it's that big of a difference.
Well, your job sucks, and she doesn't like her job all that much. And
True. What are you going to do?
I don't know. What will we do? Will I just put like a television screen in your seat there, and you'll just Skype into the shows?
I would do that.
Because I don't mind you doing the shows remotely, but I have to look at your dumb face.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need a monitor.
Don't you have a cardboard cutout?
Yeah.
You could just fold it and set it in the seat.
No, we sold that.
Put a speaker in the...
I can just cut out the mouth and hire Hop Grenade staff to sit behind the cardboard cutout and just move the lips as you talk over Skype.
No, I think we should move. We should just move the studio. There's more breweries than we've never heard of in Oregon. Let's just go. Let's pack up and move.
Yeah.
Let's get out of town. Be cheaper.
Maybe a satellite location. I don't want to move, but
then you would need a BN jet.
Yeah, no, the RV, the Highway 101 corridor from here to Portland's a piece of cake,
Oh, okay.
I don't think the 101 goes all the way up there. I think it's
Whatever
the
it
5.
It's definitely the 5.
Oh, no, the
101 goes up there.
The 101 does go up there.
it
Then you
does.
just have to cut across to Portland. Yeah.
It's a different corridor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's a much nicer one, by the way. Don't always do 5. Don't always rush through, JP. Sometimes you gotta take your time.
Sometimes you got to set your brakes on fire.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just say, what the fuck?
That's right. All right, well, we got a few things to do tonight. Like I said, we got Scratchtown Brewing Company on the program with us. We'll get to them in just a little while. A few announcements that you need to know. Winterfest will be Saturday, January 30th, right here in Toto Santos Park, where it always is, where we live. And, come hang out with us. So save the date, January 30th. I'll get you ticket information soon. Tickets will probably go on sale, I'm guessing, next month-ish, something like that.
Perfect.
So January 11th?
Yeah. A lot of details to work out. It's a tricky business, this Winterfest. But Saturday, January 30th, that's the date. Christmas is just right around the corner. It's time to start doing Christmas shopping. And I got several ways that you can do Christmas shopping and support the Brewing Network.
Would you tell me these ways?
Matter of fact, I will.
Thank you.
I don't even think you have to go anywhere else for your Christmas shopping. If you do, I recommend you go to our sponsor, More Beer, who brings you this program and every Sunday session, Saturday session, Monday session, whatever it is that we do.
Whatever session we move
Whatever
to.
session we do, More Beer brings it to you.
Right. Well, they're nice guys and ladies.
Yeah. So if you're not getting all of your Christmas shopping done over there, you should do it over here at the Brewing Network. And here's a couple ways you can do it. First of all, we got a bunch of new BN gear in our store. Just hit the store button on our all-new website. And then you'll find new logos. We got a new hop grenade in there, and we still got the old stainless growlers. We got scarves are in there. We have onesies, like for babies.
Not adult babies?
Not adult babies yet.
Fuck.
No, just regular babies.
We're missing out.
So hit the store button. That's one way to do it. Also, you can go over to Moscow's new Hop Life gear, hoplifestore.com. hoplifestore.com and get his new Hop Life gear, which is cool original work from Moscow. And also, you can do your Amazon shopping like you've been doing. Do all of your Amazon Christmas shopping, but just click the Amazon link on our homepage. It's that little orange tab over on the right side. And this really, really helps us. You have no idea. Because y'all know you can do a bunch of Amazon shopping anyway.
Right.
So if you don't even know that we're there, it doesn't change the price that you pay. It doesn't do anything. If you just start on our homepage and you click the Amazon link and then you do your Christmas shopping, you have no idea how much that'll help us get through the end of the year. So if you can do that, those are a bunch of ways to help. Also, you can subscribe and join the BN Army. Just hit the donate button. It's right there above the Amazon link. If you become a recurring donor, you get a chance to win $100 to the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. Our September winner was Jim Rainville, a sergeant in the BN Army. A sergeant! And keep in mind, the more you donate, the more times your name is entered into the hat. So I think if you're at the $2 level, your name gets entered once every month. But if you're at the $50 level, it gets entered however many times that math works out to be.
Oh.
I don't know what it is.
A lot more than once.
I think it's like 20 times, actually.
That's pretty crazy.
It's a lot. So subscribe and join the BN Army. Did I get it all? Is that all the ways?
Yeah.
I think that's all the ways.
Yeah.
Do we have an Amazon product of the week at all?
Yeah, we do. This wasn't purchased for Christmas. It was purchased for Amazon Instant Video, presumably to watch. Pitch Perfect 2. Becca and Fat Amy compete in the World Championships of a cappella after a scandal threatens their legacy. The funny part is...
Sounds great.
It was bought for $19.99, from which we got $1, and shortly thereafter was returned for $19.99, and we minus $1, so we had the commission taken away because they returned it.
Wow. It's our first negative commission.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, it's a shit movie. I don't blame you.
Yeah, they realized they bought Pitch Perfect 2.
Yeah.
I liked that movie.
Yep.
I was trying to buy Pitch a Tent, too.
1995, people.
It was the wrong
No, I
category.
have it already. I don't need to buy it.
Well, next time, maybe don't return the product. And thank you. Thanks. But thanks for thinking of us.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
appreciate it.
Thanks for clicking the Amazon link. All right. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and the Book of Face. And send show ideas over to Scott the Jew. That's Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. I got an email today saying, hey, I always hear you say to send show ideas, but I couldn't figure out how you meant to do it. Because you mentioned JP, and then you mentioned Scott, and then you meant...
I'm not mentioned at all,
just
as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So just send your show ideas. Let me start again.
Okay, please do that.
Send your show ideas to Scott.
Whoa, slow down.
That's with 2 T's, because a Scott with 1 T is the devil's spawn. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Scott with 2 T's at thebrewingnetwork.com.
Okay.
If there was a ginger kid named Scott, spelled with one T, you run the other direction.
Yeah.
That's my advice to you right now.
It's great.
And my
great
email
life.
address has Scott with one T.
I saw that. But that's because the other one was taken already.
No, it's because they could have so many characters back then. So.
On AOL?
Yeah.
It was AOL. Doc's address is still AOL. How is that even possible that it's still AOL?
Oh, I have several of them. They all just kind of funnel into that one anyway.
But where is AOL?
But why
is
do
it
you
there?
use
Is AOL there?
America is still online.
It's America Online.
Does it?
I mean, come on, guys.
Do they still provide your internet service?
Oh, no.
When you open your email, does it still say you've got mail?
You've got mail.
I don't know. I turn it down so I don't hear that.
But it would if you had the volume up.
I don't know. I haven't heard it in a long time.
You use an Outlook or something
When you
now.
when you open your browser, does it go to the AOL homepage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you still go into chat rooms and hit on chicks?
Do you still aim?
Oh, no, I don't play on there anymore.
Oh.
Anymore.
That was-
now is when you should.
Well, now there's Tinder.
That was when you only had AOL or nothing.
Yeah.
And then now it's just a...
Yeah, before that, there was actually really nothing.
Was nothing.
Mine's even older than his. Mine, I used to just get a command prompt. Waiting for your...
He signs it on DOS.
There was no graphical interface or anything.
I love it. Yeah. You're like, I have a new message.
Wow.
No, I got
DIRCD.
My email address is so old, I think there's like one guy hired full-time just to maintain that all year round because I'm the last guy left with that domain.
I love it.
Keeping jobs.
You're keeping jobs out
One
there.
guy's got a job there for me.
Wow.
You remember AOL chat rooms? I picked up a chick or two in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At least she said she was a chick.
No, I mean, I met them in person afterward.
Oh.
I'm sure I probably,
You are so lucky you didn't get raped.
We haven't ruled that out yet.
Yeah, I didn't finish the story. Yeah. Besides, you don't know what chat room I was in. I was in the Rape Me chat room.
Meet me. You
got mail.
There you go.
Yeah. MALE. Those are the people I was meeting.
Yeah.
You've got mail.
Yeah.
Damn it. Not again. All right. Send your feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. And before we get to feedback, how about we do a Twitter game?
Okay.
What's our Twitter game today? Wait! Before we do our Twitter game today, don't forget that it's brought to you by the Labruski Cruise.
Yeah.
We're going on the Labruski Cruise.
We are.
And you should too. They extended our deal. So click the Labruski Cruise image on the homepage. Remember I told you I'd put like a permanent link there?
Yeah.
I actually did it. So click. It's over on the right side. It's a big picture of like a boat. It's a boat.
Yeah. I think it's a ship.
That's about it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So click on that and buy your ticket to the Labruski Cruise and come hang out with us. It's going to be a good time. It's
going to be great.
You know the shit shows that we talk about on this program when we come back from like a weekend away at JP's wedding, for example?
Right.
You want to experience that? You go on the Labruski Cruise because I'm telling you what.
It's going to be mania.
It's going to be a mess.
And you can't escape it either.
No.
You're stuck in the shit show.
But only
for a
just
week.
jump off the ship.
It won't be listed on the events either. No, it just happens.
We're going to do the events, and then we're going to bring the party, too. So I'm just saying, if you've ever listened to the program and gone, you know what? I want to party with these people. Now's your chance.
Can you find out if there's going to be security that will shut us down?
Oh, good question.
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
We can't go to jail.
The captain.
Go to the brig or something?
Well, I don't think we have to go back and party in a room, though.
Right.
Yeah,
The bars are open like 24 hours on these things.
man.
So we just have to hole up in a place that lets us party.
Is the B&N card going to be on our room, so we just charge everything to the room?
That's going to be rough.
Negatory.
Yeah, that's a big...
I'm just telling you now that's not what's going to
I'll
happen.
tell you what, it won't
That's
just be a
bullshit.
shit show. We'll come back bankrupt is
Yeah.
what'll happen. We're close as it is. That
International
ship
waters.
is gonna put us over the edge.
That's all right. That's what a ship to go down on.
So come party with us. Hit the Labruski Cruise link, and you're gonna have a good time. It's pretty cheap too. It's like it's a Caribbean cruise for 5 days. I don't
Like
know what we'll
$4.99
end up.
or
for
something.
$4.99
like
a
that.
person.
Seriously, it's that low?
Yeah,
it is,
it's $4.99 a person.
Jesus.
So check it out.
wow.
Come party with us.
It's got music all day, all night kind of thing for a lot of different bands. It's,
Yeah.
got a lot of events.
Isn't like who's the band opening up? REO Speedwagon or something?
OAR.
No.
Thank
That would
you.
be amazing.
OAR. Better than REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, Karen Cronin's turning over.
Yeah, and Of course, our friend Kyle Hollingsworth from the String Cheese Incident is going to be there with a couple variations of his bands, I do think. And, so it's like a music and beer cruise.
Yeah.
You can't. I bet there's going to be hippie chicks on it, I'm thinking.
I'm pretty stoked.
Because it's a jam band cruise?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
There's also like a night where you're supposed to dress up like your favorite
Big
Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski character.
I saw that.
Yeah, you need a bowling shirt.
I've actually never seen that movie, so I don't know
Seriously?
what
You
I'll
can buy it
be.
for $19.95.
Yeah.
In the theater.
Well, there's going to be plenty of showings on the boat, I'm sure.
Well, we've got robes from JP's wedding, so we're done.
Oh, nice.
How many different guys are going to be in purple jumpsuits?
Not enough.
You don't fuck with the Jesus, man.
It's going to be a great time. Hit the link. What's our Twitter game tonight?
A few months ago, and I don't know if we talked about it on the show or not, Jolly Pumpkin decided to start bottling some of their farmhouse beers in green bottles.
Oh, yeah.
On purpose.
Right.
And the guy, I forget bro's name, but he's
Ron
like,
Jeffries?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
He was like, this is a character that we want, and this is definitely intentional, and not all of our product will be in green bottles and whatever. So I thought that now that is starting to happen, what new ways...
Wait, just real quick.
Yeah.
Are we positive that it was them and not Jester King?
It was both. Or
I think it's...
Jester King. It was definitely Jester King.
That's what I thought,
It was
too.
either both or just Jester King.
I don't want to call out a brewery that didn't
you're
do that.
absolutely right.
All right, I just want to make sure. So it's not Ron Jeffries and Jolly Pumpkin.
It's Broham and Jester King.
It's Jester King.
Now that Jester King is bottling some of their beers in green bottles on purpose, I would love to know what new ways that homebrewers are doing out there to completely ruin their beers on purpose. I mean, do you bottle them in green bottles and put them on the roof of your car for a day because you force that flavor in? Or what new innovative ways are you homebrewers out there ruining your beers?
Good question. That's our Twitter game today.
Sanitize with urine, something like that.
Done it. All right,
let's doing it right now.
All right, let's do some feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by our good friend John over at the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com. He protects our trademark, and he can do the same thing for you. Plus, he can help you get into business if you're a brewery. So check him out, beerlawcenter.com. He's a good guy. All right, Dave writes in, "Hey, turd herders."
Herd and turd.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Greetings from Langley, British Columbia. A few years ago, my friend from Washington taught me how to brew and turned me on to your great podcast. The info I've learned helped me to recently win the first and only brewing contest that I've ever entered. My Brett IPA, called Brett Michaels, took first place in a contest held by a local brewery, Old Abbey Ales. I also get to brew it at the brewery now, and it'll be served at the tap house. So thanks for the great service to homebrewers from around the globe. From Dave. You're welcome, Dave. Congratulations, man. This email is titled, "Other Podcasts Suck." Well, I could have told you that.
Maybe
I think we have on a few...
Like podcasts in general.
We don't need to say
like
it.
Who even listens to podcasts?
I sort of kind of do, but not really. I mean, I'll catch a couple of them every now and then. But
They don't have them on AOL, I don't think.
You know, the only podcast I've ever listened to in any amount of time, and by that I mean more than a minute, is that Serial podcast. Now, that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
The second season sounds like it's kind of going to suck, though.
Yeah.
Did they announce it?
Oh, I haven't heard anything about it.
That Bergdahl character who...
Bo Bergdahl?
Yeah, that guy. They're doing a whole investigative series on him. Like, well, that's not...
No shit.
That sounds real boring.
There aren't any better
There's
unsolved
no better...
mysteries.
Right.
No.
Like, I listened to that and I thought, wow, now these guys know how to do a podcast. Like, they know how to do radio. I felt like our program was really failing at the time.
Yeah.
Like, after I listened to that, I was
we
like,
suck.
yeah, because I was kind of, I sort of make a point of not listening to other podcasts. So that way I think, wow, we're really good. You know, I really know what we're doing over here.
We do.
And then I listened to that and I went, man, they probably spend time on this. They probably spend the week working on it.
There's some serious production value here.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
Well, in our defense, they have a lot of corporate backers.
Right, they can afford
They have time to do that.
You know, I read a thing the other day that they're getting a TV show on the first series.
Oh, wow.
On the first one. That they're going to do a, based on the...
They should have done a TV show in the first place. That's how good it was. The whole time I kept thinking, I want to see it. I don't want to hear it.
Right. Yeah.
I believe
To me,
it's
that's
called
good.
Forensic Files.
The show?
Just the same
yeah,
thing.
good call.
Also, I didn't know what you guys were talking about, so when you said cereal, I thought you were talking about breakfast food.
Cheerios.
Of course you did.
There is a podcast for that.
Yeah, Viva was like, Cocoa Puffs.
Cereal, and I was like,
Count Chocula.
That's the number one wrong answer. You got it.
The Lucky Charms episode was the best one.
Like,
for sure.
how could they do a whole podcast on cereal?
Different cereals?
This doesn't make
this
sense.
is one of those times where I shouldn't have talked. I should have just kept that in.
I mean, I wonder do they talk about like where it's made and how much sugar is in it? I would listen to that.
My favorite episode.
I wouldn't. I was like, that's ridiculous.
My favorite episode in the cereal podcast was the bowl shape and how it really channeled the flavors. Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, they can do shows like that because General Mills is their backer, so they have plenty of money for production.
That's right. Exactly. It's all just advertising, Bev, so you're right not to listen to that
I hate
garbage.
you guys.
All right, so let's see. Brian writes in, spelled with a Y.
Huh.
I'm really judgmental today.
Yeah, don't run away as fast as you would from a guy with one T and Scott, but start ambling in the opposite direction.
How about Brian with a Y?
There's probably a gay couple out there, Brian and Scott,
Could
with
be.
the Y and the one T.
Well, there's also Rick R-I-K. So
Oh, there is?
Rick Naylor, he's a British comedian.
I've seen Nick without a C.
Wow. All right. So Brian writes in.
Brian.
He says, well, I'm a bit ashamed to say it. I have a problem.
My name's up.
Right.
I'm addicted to all things homebrew. I have a 2-hour round-trip commute to and from work each day. And while the Brewing Network has a library of podcasts that should be large enough to meet anyone's needs, well, I'm ashamed to say that I couldn't help myself. I had to know if I was missing out on something better. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you.
Cereal's better.
Yeah.
The Brewing Network is not my first brewing podcast. I have been down with some of the old standards. I get around. Let's not forget I have a problem. So that all said, there's a lot of bullshit out there. I mean, some real hot piles of shit. I just want you guys and Bevo to know I, like so many others, appreciate what you do and the quality way that you do it. Look forward to seeing you guys in Baltimore for NHC, if it doesn't burn to the ground before then. From Brian. P.S. Can you suggest any other podcasts I might check out? Brewing podcasts? I don't know.
I don't think there are any.
I'm not in the loop anymore. I think there's new ones. I had a dream about one last night, now that I think about it. This is a weird coincidence. Yeah, I had a dream about it, and people were talking about it more than they were talking about us, and I was very upset.
Were you riding a walrus?
Yeah, I
that
was.
happens in my dream.
Yes. Wow. There are other. I think there are newer shows out now, but I don't pay attention. I don't know. So no, I can't suggest anything. Cereal's good.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Here's an email from Brian with an I.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
This feels familiar.
The right Brian.
from Redwood City. It's titled End of an Era for Breweries. Hey, Brewcasters. I started homebrewing last December, and someone from More Beer recommended your show. Been a loyal listener ever since. Thanks for educating and entertaining me. Your discussion in recent shows about big beer buying craft breweries has been fascinating and balanced. How about that?
Whoa.
I never
Not fair and balanced.
We're the Fox News of beer podcast.
Fascinating and balanced.
I never would have thought we'd get accused of that. What he wants to know is, does all this mark the end of an era for craft breweries? It seems that craft beer market has hit a critical mass to a point where capitalism goes into overdrive. It was inevitable, but I don't have to like it. I was hoping they could all stay independent like Sam Adams, but that's naive. You guys, there was a good article, this was a month or two ago, about Jim Cook from Sam Adams, speaking to Congress, I think it was, speaking to somebody on the Hill, and he basically said, I will be your last American-owned large brewery in this country.
Wow.
And he wasn't threatening them that he was selling out. He just was saying, they offer to buy me all the time. I'm the big guy. I'm still American-owned. And I'm going to be your last major American-owned large brewery unless you change your ways, unless you figure out a way to make people not ship work overseas and make it affordable for people to make beer here. And he just sort of went on to say, like I said, he wasn't threatening anybody. He just was saying, take a look at me and say goodbye if we don't figure this out. I thought it was really good. Look it up, Jim Cook, last American brewer or something like that. You'll find it. Just Google it. Anyhow, he goes on to say,
Bing it.
I prefer mom-and-pop shops over corporate, and I try to buy American over foreign products whenever I can, even if it costs more. I don't blame the craft brewers for selling out and realizing the American dream. However, I will not buy their beers. I will continue to support the local breweries as much as I can. I will also lobby my friends and family to do the same. The majority of beer drinkers will never know the difference or give a damn, but I do. Thank God for home brewing. At least I can control my own beer's destiny. Thanks so much for what you do. Owe you many, many hours of good crack. Yeah, we'll take crack in return.
Yeah, good crack, too.
Yeah.
I appreciate the differentiation there. Right. I've had some bad crack.
That's right. And
it's not good.
It gets bad.
It's not good.
Thanks for writing in, Brian. And, hey, we'll keep covering things as they change. Probably a little more in the beer news today that we're going to do later on about some different stuff happening. Yep. We're talking about breweries, but distributors are in the news too. Yeah. So check it out. All right, Jeff writes in from Fort Collins, Colorado. Some exciting news from a Brewing Network Homebrew Club member. He says, my Raspberry Cherry Sour Ale took gold and best of show out of 358 entries at the Colorado State Fair.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. I also wanted to share that my coffee IPA... Insert JP comment, he says. Recipe is in the running for the October beer from Mobcraft.
I dislike that. Was it artisanally roasted, hand-roasted, and hand-selected beans, each for individual quality and assuredness?
Did you swallow them first and pull them out?
Are you, in fact, a civet?
Yeah, exactly.
The beer with the most pre-orders gets made. So help out a fellow BN Army member and vote today. Go to mobcraftbeer.com. So, all right, if you want to go vote for Jeff, spelt Geoff. Yes.
Gehoff?
Then go to mobcraftbeer.com. I don't even know what that is, but go check it out. Here's a little feedback from our show on... Oh, no, this is different. Texas beer laws here.
Texas.
This is A.G. Stockstill. I met Justin, Tasty, Nate, and Nicole.
Stockstill. Tell me he's not an oil man.
Yeah.
He drives a caddy with longhorns on the
his
front.
pappy was.
Now he's a Texas lawman.
Yeah, he's A.G. Stockstill.
Attorney at law.
Texas Ranger.
Yeah. I met Justin, Tasty, Nate, and Nicole when you guys were... Sorry, it's just funny. A.G. Stockstill.
I guarantee.
Yeah, that guy's got a large herd, I can tell.
Vacuum sales extraordinaire.
Yeah. He has horns on his truck.
Oh, yeah.
He has to.
All right, I met you guys
I'm
at the
also
Blue
known
Bonnet.
Republic.
I met you guys at the Blue Bonnet in Texas this year. If you don't remember, I was the overweight white guy. Yeah. He wanted us to publicize an Indiegogo campaign that Deep Ellum Brewing has started. And he says basically wineries, distilleries, and brew pubs can sell their product directly to the consumer for off-site consumption, but our craft brewers cannot. So I haven't looked into the Indiegogo, but I think you can go to Indiegogo.com and Google Sue TABC. That's the Texas ABC. Yeah. Sue TABC, and you check it out. It's basically to bring a lawsuit against the TABC and get that changed. So if you're interested in that, go check it out.
Which is the first time I've ever heard of a crowdfunding a lawsuit.
Yeah. I like that.
That's kind of neat.
It's good use of crowdfunding, really.
Yeah.
Because now it really does affect the crowd. The crowd funding it wants to be able to take home beer from the breweries.
Yeah.
So I like that idea. Thank you, A.J. Stockstill. Bringing that to our attention.
I feel like he owns a shooting
I wonder
range.
what you get for $50. A T-shirt.
You want me to click the here? All right.
I sued
your name on the class action suit.
Alcohol, and I got this lousy shirt.
You get to go to the Supreme Court if they go.
Well, they've raised over $26,000.
Wow,
nice.
$5, you get a high five. You know, you're just a contributor.
Cool. Oh.
$15, same thing.
Are you sure that's not?
Oh wait, at $5 you get a Sue TABC koozie.
Nice.
Wow,
Nice.
At $15 you get the koozie and a tour at any one of the sponsoring breweries.
Nice.
At $20 you get the koozie and a 6-pack from a sponsoring brewery.
that's cool.
Subject to a favorable outcome of the TABC.
Of course. They need to get the laws changed, right?
Yeah,
Well, because they
not
can't
for
give it-
offside consumption.
They can't sell it.
I like how they keep stacking it up. At $30, you get a koozie, a 6-pack, a tour, and that's it. $50, you get a koozie, a tour, a 6-pack, and a limited edition Sue TABC T-shirt.
What's the T-shirt?
Limited edition.
This is such a classic.
Yeah, limited edition.
Shall I keep going?
It's a lawsuit
Hey, I
against
wonder
the
what
government.
the top prize is.
Yeah, what's the most?
I don't know. It's kind of. I feel like it's the 12 days of Christmas right now. I have to keep, at $80, you get. Oh, by the way, it all puts your name on the petition too.
Nice.
Oh, at $80, you get 5 Sue TABC koozies.
Wow.
Whoa.
A 6-pack. Why not 6?
Right.
Why not one?
There's
for
one
each?
can, not in a koozie in that situation.
It's fucked up. A 6-pack, a tour, and your choice of 3 Sue TABC T-shirts.
You know, if your name is
let's go to. Let me go to.
alphabetically the first, your name is on the petition, or actually on the suit.
If you get a choice of 3, are they really that limited?
Well, first of all, check this out. The top thing that you could donate was $10,000.
Yeah.
They had one slot open for that.
Yeah.
It was claimed.
No.
Wow.
Somebody donated $10,000.
AG stocks.
Hey, lawsuit extraordinaire.
What could have been the Texas Craft Brewers Association?
Yeah, that's $7,500. So that's now the top one. This level is reserved for 2 other breweries that wish to help make this, decisions regarding the suit. So that's just for breweries to get on, be actually named as a plaintiff.
Yeah.
$500, you become a Sue. $5,000. I'm sorry, a Sue TABC board member. Anyway, it goes on and on, but a lot of koozies.
Wow.
So just go search Sue TABC, and I think you'll find what you're looking for over on Indiegogo if that's something that you're interested in. All right. This email is entitled "Like."
Okay.
And then the greeting is hot dog cart.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Like, okay, so he says hot dog cart. Like, think you could, coach your younger interviewees to, not say like 17 times in one goddamn sentence. Like, it's really fucking annoying and makes me want to, chew glass. And anyway, he goes on and on with a bunch of likes.
He doesn't like it?
Now, let me get this straight. The interviewee is our guest, right?
Correct, yeah.
All right, let me make something clear here, you shit stain. These people who come on the program are not like media moguls. And who the hell else, by the way, is interviewing them in this format? Like bringing them onto a live radio show and making them sit here and answer all of these pointed questions about their life and their brewery.
For hours on end.
They're brewers, man. They're just people. They have a normal job like you and me, and they're not. It's not like I'm interviewing Tom Selleck.
I love Tom Selleck.
Can we interview Tom Selleck?
I would love to.
And so I don't like that criticizing their delivery. Like I'm supposed to coach them. I'm supposed to now. Not only do I put them on the spot, but I'm supposed to sit them in here and go, "Hey, make sure you don't say "and" too many times. You don't say "like" too many. Or how about I just let them tell their story and you shut the fuck up? That's what I think about that.
We just have a bleep button too.
You want like a bleep button? You don't want a bleep button?
Right.
You want something similar?
Yeah.
So I just want to point out the people that you're listening to are not here for your entertainment. I am here for your entertainment, and they're nice enough to come on and give away their information. And apologies if they're not all trained public speakers. I just think it's a shitty feedback. You know? You don't want to say it about one of us.
Sure.
Well, then by all means, I'll have a talk to somebody.
Yeah. You did have 2 unnecessary likes in your rant just now.
I did. But, to criticize the guests for their speech patterns, I'm not into that. I think that's kind of lame.
Yeah. Well, it's not our job as interviewers.
Yeah.
This isn't the Grammar Network.
Yeah.
If we were like Celebrity Radio, the Celebrity Interview Network, then fine. These are people who should know how to present themselves.
Right.
But come on. There's a beer. They practically live in a dungeon most of the week. They're in a beer cellar talking to stainless steel. So get over it. All right, moving on. Anthony writes in. I totally agree with JP on his stance on the beer sent in for the show, but I can say with absolute certainty that if I were in Scott's shoes, I'd be keeping a bunch of extra bottles. Cheers from Anthony.
Cheers.
All right, Ponch writes in. I like this email. This is a good question. It says, hey, fellas, love the show. I've been working in sales for a 2-year-old microbrewery in Texas. He says, sorry, JP. He says, it can be stressful, but listening to the session motivates me in my long days, funny, informative, etc. He says, question. On several occasions, we are faced with the request for free stuff from bars and restaurants. I'm not talking about stickers or signage. I'm talking about free or discounted beer, pint glasses, not related to pint nights, free brewers' T-shirts, etc., all sorts of stuff. And from what I understand, free beer is illegal. I don't even get reimbursed for a lot of my expenses. We do it for the cause, which is, by the way, the cause is the name of our IPA, he says. My point is that in my particular market, it can be we get a free brewer shirt and you get a tap line. So he says, am I naive to believe that this isn't prevalent in other markets? Is this a growing pain for a market? And in the end, we work our way around it just by finding business elsewhere. We want someone who will buy our beer because it's good, not because they get free shit. And I'm just curious about your thoughts. Keep up the good work from Punch. So Punch.
Where's John?
I don't know. Where's
That's
John?
that's all anyone wants.
John's
to know.
still alive?
Let's look him up.
Let's take a look. So I have heard about this in our market in California, and it's called pay to play, and it's illegal. It's highly illegal, and I believe this is state by state. I'm no expert on this, but in this state,
Hold on, Justin. This is very important. Larry Wilcox is alive.
What's his name? Mary?
Larry Wilcox.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Larry. Good.
Go on.
Yeah.
LY.
Well done.
RRY.
What's he doing? What was he last in? Chips.
Yeah, chips.
Fair enough. So. In our market, it's illegal for a brewery to give anything of value to a retail location. So a pint glass, for example, has value. And it's not
anything more than $3.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's a limit.
Okay, so a case of pint glasses.
Pint glasses, and now they've got trucker hats that come in at $3 that they can give to them.
Well, but wait a minute. So it doesn't count like a case of glasses.
No,
it has a value of more than $3.
It's from the brewer to the end customer via the bar.
So they're allowed to do pint nights now with glasses.
Right, but they can't,
Okay. But they can't give the retailer anything of value over $3.
Exactly.
And the reason is because Big Beer can afford to do that and would have, and probably did for quite some time, basically buy accounts that way. Now, all that being said, yeah, it happens. I know it happens. I have brewers tell me it's happening all the time. I have small brewers that complain to me behind the scenes. In fact, I even had a small brewer ask me one day if I would tackle the subject of it.
An expose.
An actual expose. And I was...
a serial show.
I was uncomfortable.
I would want life insurance.
Yeah. Well, I was uncomfortable with it because, for one... We don't make
Career
shit
insurance.
on sponsors as it is.
Right.
We don't have a lot of brewery sponsors yet. And I felt like I'd be shooting myself in the foot, becoming like the whistleblower, if you will.
Deep anus.
You've got to shut this guy up.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just being honest with you. I was unwilling to take on this expose. That and the fuck do I know how to do an expose?
Yeah, right. Get out the book from school.
But I know it happens. And I think it's unfortunate that it happens, and it's entirely illegal that it happens.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that some of these breweries are craft breweries that you and I think are cool.
Yep.
And I don't think they're being very cool when they do that stuff. I think that's really fucked up.
Well, I mean, is it fucked up because they should police themselves, or
yeah, they should not be engaging in illegal activity that sets an unfair marketplace, is what I think. Because that's what they're doing. They're setting an unfair marketplace so that small brewers who, A, want to abide by the law, and or B, can't afford to do otherwise because they can't be giving out free swag at every account, it's unfair. It's not a fair marketplace, and I don't like it. I think it's a dick move, especially then when you go around saying, "Oh, craft beer, and we're all friends, and we're all great," yet you're kind of shafting your colleagues. So it's hypocritical.
Well, and even the loophole that they just recently kind of figured out with the less than $3 per item direct to the consumer.
Okay.
That does still help the bigger breweries because can the small breweries afford to donate like 4 cases of pint glasses to do a pint night at a bunch of pint nights?
You're right.
So that's going to affect their business at individual retailers because the big breweries can come in and be like, yeah, we'll do a pint night a month because we can afford to give away all this stuff.
Right.
But a small brewery can't even do that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's just the laws are made to protect the small guy, and it's a case where they're doing exactly the opposite because they're not enforced.
Yeah. Or they're making these exceptions.
But even that exception
isn't helping the small guy.
True.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I don't like it when I hear about some of the breweries that I like doing it. None of them are ever going to admit to me that they do it, you know. It's just one of those things that happens, unfortunately, but I don't think it's right. I think it's kind of fucked up.
Is it right from the breweries or is it from the distributors? Like the breweries will give distributors shit to give away, and then the distributors are doing it, and maybe the breweries have no idea that it's going on.
So I can only go on record as speculating.
Yeah.
I think the breweries I think it happens in both cases.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes the directive comes down from the breweries to the distributors. In either case, the breweries know about it. I think they know about it. I think there's no way they don't know about it. I have heard, it's all hearsay, right? So, but I've heard a specific strategy of some of the larger craft brewers. That their strategy, their whole thing is going in and saying, I will give you a couple kegs of beer. Just put me on tap. Let me stay here, and I'm going to give you, that's illegal. That is so highly unethical and illegal.
And also say, here, and charge my card $300.
Yeah.
Just charge my card.
Yeah.
So just from their point of view, and I'm in no way defending it, what if they said, well, what am I supposed to do? I can't get a tap line if I don't do some, even though I fully understand it's immoral, it's illegal, but I can't get a tap line.
Yeah.
What should they do to get a tap line?
In my opinion, they should absolutely not engage in illegal activity.
For sure.
Like Ponch is saying, what they do is they go try to find business elsewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Show them great beer. Get your marketing better. Show them that if by putting your beer on tap, you're the new thing in town. This is what people want. They're going to come into your bar to try it. I think there are ways to make your beer speak. If you pay attention to marketing and you pay attention to your beer, of course, first and foremost. Sure, there are going to be some accounts you just can't do it otherwise. Like, that's what this guy's saying. These people go, you want a tap line? Give me a shirt. And I think even that small thing, I think that sentiment, I'd want to give the guy the finger right then and there.
I'd want to come in with a secret recorder and sort of blow the whistle on it. You know? I mean, if they're being that overt about it.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
I think there's a lot of people that are around the people that are receiving these things that would be more than willing to talk about it. In terms of doing the expose.
You mean like bartenders? Who do you mean would do it?
Assistant bartenders, managers.
Yeah.
You know, the graph goes to somebody that's supposed to keep that on the down low.
Oh, we can get a voice changer?
Oh, yeah.
No. I did that. It happens a lot, and I really don't understand. It gets the lotion, and it put... Oh, wait. Sorry.
Yeah. Both of you guys still sound like you.
Damn it. Really?
Say like...
I feel like... I'm in Munster.
Devo, please.
All right, I got to get us to a break so we can get to our guest. But this is an interesting topic. I would love to hear from people in the industry who have something to say about it. In fact, if you want to call in on today's show, we could revisit the subject, I guess, at the end of the program, 888-401-BEER. Or if there were enough people that came forward, I would be willing to do a show on it. But it happens, and I think it sucks. I think that, I'll just say this. I bet that a lot of the craft breweries justify it by saying, well, look, you smaller guys are having a hard time competing with us. Well, we're having a hard time competing with the bigger guys than us, so that's why we do it. In other words, they justify why they do it. And I don't think it's right. Yeah, we're not the only one. This is the game. This is the whatever. I don't know. I say fuck all that.
Why don't you just turn people in? Like, if you're a brewer and you going, oh, they're giving away T-shirts at Pint Night from the brewery, that's not right. Turn them in.
Yeah. I wonder if
the number one method of enforcement by the ABC is
it
people turning people in.
It's again. I'm Italian,
and they have to investigate every one.
You get stitches.
Yeah, you get whacked if you snitch.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying you. But,
okay.
The Gambino Brewing Company, I'm sure wouldn't snitch anybody out.
They're looking for me, man. I can't snitch.
You're going underground.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, We're going to be talking to our guest today. We're going to have a good time talking to Scratchtown Brewing Company. So hang in there. Just a few minutes from now, it's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing, and like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls. Marquis, stop. Look.
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
The Brewcasters are back.
It ain't 401 beer.
Whatever.
Yes, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget, you can go over and see our good friend Brad at beersmith.com. Go to beersmith.com and get your free 21-day trial of the Beersmith homebrewing software. It's good stuff. A bunch of professionals that come in here use it, too. It's that robust. It's the only one that's kept up to date. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can get your free 21-day trial. And if you don't like it, it just expires there on your computer and, I don't know, self-destructs. I don't know what it does. Sends a spy to your house to kill you.
I think that's what it does.
It wipes your computer.
Actually,
and you start over.
Yeah. You start your whole life over.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get rid of your wife or anything like that, get your free 21-day... No, it can do everything for you except get you a new wife, I think. But go check it out. It does a bunch of stuff you didn't even know you needed it to do. Go to beersmith.com right now and check it out. All right, our guest today are Scratchtown Brewing Company from Ord, Nebraska. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, they're pouting, obviously.
It might be.
Yeah.
Do you think they're upset about the no broadband internet?
Right. Skype works slower on dial-up.
You may have mispronounced Ord.
They're typing to me. Hey, guys, so I see that you're typing to me that you're there and we're connected, but in some way, shape, or form, your microphone is muted over there.
Right, or you got the wrong mic selected as your mic in your settings.
Are you using the mic that says MYKE? Because that's definitely the wrong.
If we're up your ass, you know which one it was.
Yeah. So
maybe it is up their ass. That's why we can't hear him.
What the fuck?
Did anybody else just catch that?
No.
Yeah.
I
just want to change the subject.
He goes, if it were up your ass, you'd know which one was the right one.
Sounds like my dad.
So here's
what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to hang up on you, and you can maybe check it out. Do a Skype test call, and if you can hear yourself that way. And then as a backup, just type me a phone number. I can call you.
I have one if you need it.
Did you Skype test them, Moskowitz?
No, I was on a plane all day today. I got in late.
I could give a shit what you're doing.
No. Saying.
All right. Let's see what happens there. You guys want to talk about?
401-233-37.
We have their beer.
What's important in your life?
Tasty want to talk about microphones in your butt.
So Justin failed on the water challenge.
I did fail on the water challenge.
Of course you did. Because you should fail on the water challenge.
I failed days ago, too.
We're in a drought.
Stop drinking
that's a stupid thing.
Water entirely.
We're in a drought. Figure it out.
Somewhere around last Thursday.
Well, you got to cleanse your body from all that water you were drinking.
3.5 days.
I did.
You bird.
But technically, those 3 gallons of water are more water than I've drank in the last month. So I think it served its purpose, and I'm ready to move on. Yeah. I'm ready to get a Fitbit now.
Yes.
Whoa.
And
you should
see what a disastrous mess I am.
The Charge HR.
Every time I hear somebody talk about their Fitbit, they talk about how great it is and all the information it gives them, which is mind blowing. It's astounding, this technology. But all I can think is, God, who wants to know all that?
People with
as if I don't,
anxiety.
As if I already don't know I'm gonna die early.
How depressing.
Yeah, I want to change. So I was in the same boat, and I have a Fitbit. Me and Jay and I are Fitbit friends.
Jay
from the Rare Barrel.
Oh, he's a Fitbitter as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
brewers and Fitbits, it's a whole thing.
They're weird. One of the reasons I got it is because I want to see how much I walk when I'm at Disneyland. Like at Disney World, one day we walked 11.5 miles in one day. That's a lot of walking.
That is a lot of walking.
But this one tracks your heart rate, which is really awesome for someone with
That's what I'm saying. You don't need this in your life, man.
On the plane, I'm every 5 minutes, oh fuck, it's still at 97. fuck. Okay, shit, it's at 94. What the hell's going on? Am I dying? It's slowing down.
It's winding down.
Yeah, my heart is winding. I'm actually winding down.
I am the clock.
I'm watching it happen.
Who wants that thing?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, for the most part, it's helped my anxiety in some respects because
something to do.
It's something to do, but also whenever I feel strange or whatever, and I think something's wrong with me, I can look and go, no, my heart's still beating normally. Everything's fine. It's not. There's not a fluctuation.
Yeah, but you're alive. I mean, the fact that you're upright,
still,
this tells you that everything's fine.
I have a sickness.
You know, people die from other things besides heart failure, though.
Shut. Warren,
they die in plane crashes.
Right.
They die at Disneyland on rides.
They die sitting on their couch.
That hardly ever
They die
happens.
walking to the kitchen.
It's very rare.
They don't die at Disneyland. Nobody dies at Disneyland. Stop it.
I think that's all just hidden.
They scoop you up off the floor before anyone else can see you.
Oh, yeah.
You're under the rug.
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan. Then they put you on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Right. They push you in the moat.
Yeah. Actually, on Ears Up, we interviewed these two custodial managers at Disneyland. They worked custodial in Disneyland for like years.
Yeah.
And the guy told a story about how he found a dead body in the
moat,
in the bathroom.
Oh,
like just in the stall.
Sure.
He
People
hadn't
die
come out
everywhere.
in like an hour, and I'm
That's
like,
another way
oh
people
my
die,
God.
Beardy.
Oh yeah, on the toilet.
On the toilet.
Yeah.
Well, you spend a large part of your life there. I mean, you're going to die at some point in time.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
And, say when you die, you let loose everything. Perfect.
Yeah.
If there was a pie chart of places you would die, the toilet would be a rather large
nice,
slice of the pie.
It would be.
The toilet in Disneyland was a smaller slice. But
You know, this segment is making me feel like we should do a non-show, like one of these
Like
Mondays.
Lunch Meet
Like
or something?
no, I mean for the session.
Okay.
And
Like
where
actual-
we just get on here and I go, all right, hey, what do you guys want to talk about?
Freeform it.
And we'll do a 3-hour Monday session.
We should do it.
Of bullshit.
Let's do that.
Listeners right now are going, what's the difference from a normal Monday show?
We could charge $1 for that show.
It's your $1 show.
We wouldn't feel
$1
guilty
show.
about no homebrew content, too.
Yeah.
Because we'll announce it ahead of time.
Not gonna have any.
Yeah.
Seriously, put it up on iTunes for $1.
Yeah.
Why not?
No, because
See who buys it.
it's not worth the $5.
Oh, you have to pay $5
to put it on
No,
iTunes.
I mean the 5 people that are going to download it. It's a whole.
No.
It's a lot of work.
You misunderstand.
Well, not to change the subject,
Yeah.
but the guy, I was thinking of our friends from Creature Comforts.
Yeah.
Who have the same sort of problem that the guys from Texas have.
Yes, and that's why
So
I thought
they
that
should be
email.
watching how that turns out.
Yeah, I thought it was from that state,
Oh.
but no.
No, it's
Yeah, you're right. It's the same. It's the same issue. And watch that Indiegogo. I mean, sometimes a good old fashioned lawsuit is what's needed.
nice segue, by the way.
Yeah.
I hope his listeners understand
That's good radio.
The model that works in California and most other states is that you open a small brewery, make a small amount, but you sell it all yourself. You become a bar, basically.
Yeah.
And you make a good margin on that beer, and then you accumulate some assets, and pretty soon you got like revenues, and you go to the bank and say, we want to make even more beer.
Yeah.
So we want to expand, and that's the model. They can't do that in Texas or Georgia.
Right, which is it's just really inhibiting, and it's anti-small business. What's funny is for a state like Texas, who touts themselves as not the government state, let people run a business.
Yeah, we rent free or something. Yeah, exactly.
Jamil and I met a fledgling brewer this weekend who had told I came in at the end of the conversation, but he had told Jamil that he's going to open this little brewery without doing a tasting room. And Jamil looked at him. Jamil, I'm paraphrasing, but Jamil basically said, "Are you fucking nuts? You can't. Do not do that.
No.
Absolutely do not. You have to sell out of your front of the house.
Yes.
That's where your big margin is. It's where you're going to make most of your money. And I've said this 100 times on here. Some of these breweries that start up make 80% of their income at that tap room.
Oh, yeah.
For the foreseeable future.
Not have to pay for distribution.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's right there.
Yeah,
No,
packaging,
all that.
My guess is that when we get to talk to our guest tonight, Moscow's in there working it out so we can get this Skype working, we're going to find that they do most of their sales out of their tap room in this small town as well, and are able to make ends meet because of it. So, yeah, that's where that margin is.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Well, like our friends from Creature Comforts, they because they couldn't, they had to open at start out at a large production, a beer.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Open up at a 30-barrel brew house. That's a lot of money.
Which is really prohibitive.
It is.
Money-wise to be able to put that out. But then also, think of the amount of accounts you have to have right when you hit the street.
You can't miss.
In order to make ends meet. Yeah.
Might want to think about moving.
Sounds impossible.
Right. Yeah, it's not like there's 49 other states you could open a brewery in.
Well, I think on our show they were talking about expanding in another state.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, what a weird thing. So you'd think that the easy solution is, well, don't open in that state. But this is where these people live, and they love where they live, and they want to run a business there. They want to be part of their community.
Of their life. Yeah.
And so they go that hard route, and God bless them for making it, Creature Comforts, and anybody else in that state.
Well, the people in Georgia ought to send a few bucks over to the Texas guys on their Indiegogo thing.
Yeah, because then you get precedent too.
I think
you get a lawsuit to go through like that. You have a little precedent.
Yeah, you can see how they did it.
Make some reference.
Yeah, Texas has dry counties and weird stuff like that.
So weird.
Yeah. They're in a drought too.
Yeah.
You'd think that Texas, of all states, wouldn't have any of that.
Yeah.
You'd think that Texas would be the land of the free. Like Germany.
Right?
Yeah. You can put anything in your beer in Germany.
Like Las Vegas. You think Texas would be one big...
You can even put pills in your beer in that one.
God, I love Las Vegas.
You know, there's no prostitution in Las Vegas. It's all around Las Vegas.
Right, not in Las Vegas proper.
Yeah.
But, there's ways around it.
There's, numbers to call. Wait a minute, I can't walk down the street without getting handed something.
I need escorting.
Right.
My evening needs an escort to carry me throughout the evening.
Sure. Massages are not illegal.
No.
No.
Not even the happy kind.
Doesn't. What's the rule that I can't be massaged with a vajoon?
There is no
There is no rule. It's a massage.
Were you telling me, or someone was introducing me verbally?
Yes,
to the new. I guess it's the new hotness with like kids, religious kids, called floating.
Ooh,
was that you? Was that my wedding?
No, but this conversation does sound familiar. Hey, just real quick, Bevo, we can call them on their phone if you're still working out Skype. We'll just call them on their phone,
and you'll cringe the whole time.
Wait all night.
Yeah.
For this. All right, he says he's almost there.
30 seconds.
Great.
Floating
is where, so it's some news reports will say like, oh, young kids, they want to keep their virginity, so they'll go anal times, right?
Yeah.
Which only a 16-year-old horny
this is a great preface
teenager is going to think of this, right?
Okay.
So the other one is into the baby maker, but you don't go in and out, you just sit in it.
Oh, we did talk about this.
Yes.
I forget if we talked about this on Lunch Meat.
No, I think it was at my wedding.
Yeah, maybe it was.
So now that you're married, we're going to tell you about floating.
Your wedding.
I don't remember anything. So Kate comes up to me the other day and says, hey, so when we were talking to Chris and Amy Graham at JP's wedding, they said we want to make dinner plans. And I said, Chris Graham was at JP's wedding? I had no idea.
Yeah, and the kids and everything.
Apparently, and apparently I hung out with him a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't
Welcome
remember.
to my world.
Am I trying Skype again?
Try now, yeah.
All right. Let's see what we can do.
We'll Skype this shit up.
Let's float here a while.
We all float down here, Doug.
Yeah.
All right, guys, are you there?
Float.
We're here.
All right.
Yay, technology.
You guys have high-speed internet.
I'm sweating bullets.
The 21st century hasn't quite reached us out here yet.
Dude, you got to feed that cow on the treadmill, man. Give him some more carrots.
Well, the copper wire was cut, I guess, outside, so we got to fix. We're good.
All right, so we have here Caleb and Mike. Caleb Pollard is the founder of Scratchtown Brewing Company, and Mike Kilmek is a co-founder and the head brewer. You can go right now to scratchtown.beer if you want to kind of follow along with us and check out their website and learn all about them. And you guys are from Ord, Nebraska.
That is correct.
Were you born and raised in Ord, Nebraska?
This is Mike. Yeah, I was born and raised here. After graduation from college, I moved into Omaha for about a dozen years and moved back here in about 2011. So,
okay. What's the population there?
2,000 people.
Wow.
No, we're not talking about Omaha.
It's a little hamlet out in the hills.
How many cows?
2,000.
More
way
than
more.
2,000.
way more.
We got 4 cows for every resident.
It says that on the city limit sign.
That's not a bad estimate.
Okay. All right. Fair
Well, how
enough.
many people live within a 20-minute drive of your place?
We're looking maybe 10 to 15,000 max.
Okay. Within it. And I was reading just a little bit about you guys. You're 60 miles from anything. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, we are. We're way out in the hills.
Which means
No, I think everything is 60 miles from us.
Okay, I like that. I like that attitude. But I mean, 60 miles from the freeway, 60 miles to the next major town. Like you're really out there in the hills.
We are.
I love it. Okay. What did you now? Scratchtown is fairly young, right? When did you guys open?
October 4th, 2013 was the day we opened.
And what did you all do before that?
When I lived in Omaha, I worked for First National Bank of Omaha in banking, finance, credit card issuing. When I moved back here and met Caleb, I was just still homebrewing and doing computer repair.
Aww.
Caleb?
Yeah, I was in the private sector for a bit, and then jumped into the public sector. Was the Chamber of Commerce guy, and I did economic development in Omaha for a bit, and then moved out here to kind of run the gig out here to grow the local economy. And we have some unique aspects out here that even though we're really small, we've got some area lakes that bring quite a few travelers to the area. And so we thought, we were strategically located right in the middle. We said, hey, man, there's an opportunity to make some good beer out here and to capitalize on all the people kind of coming through this area as a tourism destination. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. And so I'm not actually a native of Ord. I'm from southeast Nebraska originally, and prior to moving here, I went to college, University of Nebraska. That's where I met my wife, and we started our family and our career there. And eventually, I wanted to get back to kind of my small town roots, so that's why we moved out here. And fate intervened when I met Mike, and we started homebrewing together, and that really kind of ignited the fires for all this.
So you guys were both homebrewers, in essence.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you didn't think of starting a brewery until you actually ended up in Ord, and then you went from there. Okay.
Well, when I was out of college,
you were homebrewing,
and I got into homebrewing because I thought it was a cheap way to acquire beer. Which is
what a Trojan horse that was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it works on the way.
His Kirk's Brew in Lincoln was probably the instigator of a lot of the genesis of Scratchtown way back when. But
thanks to them,
yeah, absolutely, he got me started in homebrewing, and I went on a couple brewery tours as I traveled around the U.S. and I'd been drinking craft beer for about a decade, I guess, prior to that, and just said, this would be a really, really interesting and fun endeavor to kind of jump into, an adventure at least. And then when I started homebrewing with Mike, I was like, man, this guy can make really good beer, because I was very, very average as a homebrewer, very average, and that's being kind to myself. So when I saw what the potential was for him, and I mean the fact that when we opened 2 years ago, there was no brewery essentially between the Wyoming and Iowa border north of the interstate.
Okay.
Yeah, who would be stupid enough to do that?
Well, yeah, exactly. So when we got open, it was a bit of a surprise at the reaction to it.
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint what the biggest few differences were in your processes as homebrewers that made him so much better than you? Like, what was he doing?
He put the time in to learn how to go from extract and kits to grain. And, he Brewing Classic Styles is a book I think he knows by heart, like the Bible.
I will say this: when I was supposed to be at my desk at the bank in Omaha, I was listening to the Jameel show.
Nice.
Shameless plug, but that kind of got me going a little bit.
I love it.
So the BN basically was the difference.
Yeah, I mean, internet and reading is what really helped improve my.
Well, look at when you go to Omaha, you get internet and you read.
Yeah,
isn't that great?
What do you do when you spare time? I'm into the internet.
Boys,
I'm into reading.
Good libraries out here too.
I just had a lot of time when I was supposed to be doing other work that I spent on listening to BN. So,
and I actually worked, so I didn't put in the extra time, I guess, on the research side. For me, it was more a curiosity. I was much more of an enthusiast of just the fine beers from around the world that we could get our hands on. I mean, Nebraska does have access to some pretty great beer, especially Midwest breweries, starting back, when I was like 21 in college, and we started drinking, Boulevard Unfiltered, and that was really kind of, that and Fat Tire was the gateway drug for me into craft beer, and I was like, beer's bigger than, Milwaukee's Best, so...
Yeah.
Maybe I should, jump into this a little bit more, but, in credit to Mike, I mean, he really spent time reading and really looking beyond just the 1 through 12 step, extract kit.
Sure.
Instruction manual that I was, I at that time I didn't put the time in, to be honest with you.
Mike, what were you brewing on? What was your system like at the time?
I was doing just the old cheap and easy batch barge, cooler, mash tun.
Okay.
5-10 gallon batches.
Fermenting in carboys?
Yep.
Did you have temperature control?
Yeah, I did fermentation control, yeast starters, and the works. That's about where I jumped from that basically to the 3-barrel system. So.
Okay. And then, just before we get to your brewery, could you buy good beer in town there? Was there a little craft beer shelf at the store or what?
In Ord, Nebraska, no. We had, like I said, I moved back here in January of 2011, and craft beer was, Sam Adams, maybe 2 different kinds of Sam Adams.
Okay.
Now here 2 years later, both stores have at least a door that's all Nebraska craft beer.
Oh, nice.
So it has changed since we moved back. But, like I said, living in Omaha, I could get the best that Nebraska had.
Okay.
At the time, you're getting the Colorado beers, everything. So
well, and we're having a little fun with you guys here, but let's be honest, Nebraska's putting out some good beer too. You guys got some.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
You guys have some good breweries.
I'll toot our horn a little bit. I mean, we had some success at the U.S. Open this summer, and then our good friends at Nebraska Brewing Company, and Zipline with their Copper Alt, and then NBC's. Melange à Trois. I mean, they won, the second largest, most entered category at the Great American Beer Fest this summer with the the wood aged strong beers.
Yeah.
So Nebraska, is elevating their game, and the fun thing about it is not only are we friends, but we've done some collaborations with some of the brewers especially from NBC. Sam Riggins is a phenomenal brewer. He's no longer with NBC, but he's been out here for a collaboration. And we've got a winter event we do at the winter solstice called the Darkest Day. And it's a dark beer fest where we have anywhere from 8 to 11 different dark beers that we do exclusively. And he's going to be brewing a collab beer with us this year as well. So we've been able to kind of elevate our game a little bit, but we've also been able to really stand at the feet of some really high quality brewers here in the state of Nebraska, and see that we're starting to kind of stake a claim to good beer here. And that's, I think, the fun of it all is that you can be out in the sticks and you can still make world class beer and have a lot of fun doing it, and turn cowboys and farmers and well drillers and pipe fitters onto this idea that Coors Light and Busch Light isn't the only thing out there on the shelf to drink.
I like it.
Is it a pretty tight knit community of brewers in Nebraska? How many are there?
25 operational. I want to say we've got like 3 to 5 in planning, and there's some competitive juices that flow, but absolutely we're fairly tight knit. I would say that the majority of those brewers are in Omaha and Lincoln, and then you've got maybe a third of the brewers outside of that area. And what's interesting is since we opened 2 years ago, we've got another brewery that opened 50 miles west of us, and then there's another one that's opening, could be this month, just 30 miles to the northwest of us. And outside of the metro of Lincoln and Omaha, the most brewery-dense region of Nebraska is now the least populated, which is where we're located in the Nebraska Sandhills.
Wow. That's kind of fun.
It's crazy. Cool. It's kind of unexpected, and it's a lot of fun to say that, we were the first to do it, but in the same token, it was inspiration for others to get out and get after it.
Yeah.
You just pour yourself some Pinot Noir over there? What was that?
We're making Black Imperial Porter.
It sounded like fancy glassware to me.
It is.
Well, let's talk beer for a second, if you don't mind, because we have your, I believe it's your Wonder Twins Double IPA in our glass.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this beer.
That's a beer I made about a year ago. The first time we got a contract on some Mosaic and Citra, and I wanted to throw a lot into a beer. So it's, base malt, little Crystal 40, some dextrose to thin it out, heavily on the dry hops. Probably from people from California, it's not going to be as bracingly bitter as most doubles you're used to, but it still clocks in 100 IBUs, but it's kind of more on the, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little more on the flavor and aroma side, I guess.
As I explain it to a customer that comes into our tap room, or when we're doing like tastings at retailers, I say it's dank and fruity and delicious. And the surprising thing is it's our most popular beer with this cattleman group that comes in when it's on tap, or we do a bottle release with it, and they go bonkers over it.
So
it's hilarious.
I have to admit that surprises me a little bit, because you're describing the area like people that had to be introduced to craft beer, but now they're going straight for the double IPA.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct, because like I said, I grew up here. I was probably the last person of the group to be convinced that this was, something that could float out here.
Okay.
Because of the Busch Light, Coors Light culture. But like Caleb said, when our double IPA comes on, I mean, they will. I don't want to say come out of the hills, because that sounds pretty stereotypical. But I mean, it brings in the locals. I mean, people have adapted to. We got 2 barrel-aged beers coming out in probably about a month. The double IPA, we do Imperial Oatmeal Stout. Belgians. Being from this area, it has really surprised me how people have taken to the craft beer
Sure. So let's talk about that a little bit. So before you guys open, you come up with this idea, you're homebrewing together, and you think maybe we should open one of these up. And it sounds like at least one of you says, well, you're crazy. We're way out here in the middle of nowhere. No one's going to buy all this beer. Talk to me about that.
I'll go back a little bit. When I was living in Omaha, looking to move back here, and Caleb said he was economic development director, I was communicating him before we'd ever met, and I said, I want to move back to Ord. Somehow it came up that we were both home brewers, and he says, hey, Ord could use a brewery. And more or less my answer to him through email is, you're fucking crazy. And, here we are now, 2 years after being open, and it turns out that he had
How did you get talked into it? How did you get talked into that? Like, what was the convincing thing that, hey, don't worry about it. If we build it, they will come?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, like the shit show that was 2008, 2009 housing crisis.
Mm-hmm.
We did the quote unquote the thing you're supposed to do when you get out of college, right? You're supposed to start a family, buy a house, blah 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 blah, bullshit, and you get you get that shit sandwich that is the 2009 housing collapse, and you look at your 401k and you're like, wow, some asshole on Wall Street just raked me for a third of my savings.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm tired of doing everything that everybody tells you should do and getting fisted over it. So it was like we need to do something a little bit different. And the other piece to it was I believe that there was a real opportunity to introduce this area to craft beer, especially when you look at the economic, I guess, the traffic that flows in and out of this area from a travel and tourism perspective. And I said, there's a couple things in play here. One, we can feast when when it's feeding season on the people coming through the area lakes. We're talking 350,000 people throughout a summer.
Okay.
Lakes we have out here.
There we go.
There was no brewery. There's no decent place to get a good beer at all. Period. And then the other piece to it was, and it was kind of like a pitch drunkenly over beers one night, more not to Mike but to his wife. And I just said, Julie, I said, if this thing fails, we're young enough. We're still in our 30s. And I was 29 when I started kind of scheming this thing up. I said, we can recover financially if this thing falls flat on its face. And so we kind of moved forward with that mindset. And then we did a couple tastings here in town. There's a like a county fair, a traditional small town county fair. The fair board does this beer and wine tasting every November. And so let's show up to it, but let's show up to it with crazy beer. And when I say crazy beer, I use that in quotations. Crazy for out here. We did a barrel-aged brown, and then a bourbon barrel-aged brown, and then we did our Black Eye Imperial Porter, which you guys have.
Okay.
And those are the two first beers that we sold out of within an hour. And it was, like I said earlier, it was farmers and ranchers, and we just drained 2 sixtels of pretty aggressive beers for this area. And I looked at Mike and I said, "Holy shit! I think we're onto something here."
Yeah.
And so we kept homebrewing, and we just kept giving it away and asking people what their reaction was, and it was overly positive. But the piece to it, and I'll let Mike jump in here, that really kind of sealed the deal is Mike's been pretty thorough on entering into homebrew competitions over the last several years, and was starting to place or win them. And so it wasn't just like a validation from the local layman that has an interest in a slightly more maltier beer than what they normally drink.
Yeah,
there was some validation from blind tastings that said, hey, you guys might be able to make some beer and make some hay when hay's to be made. So that's when we kind of started really putting the pen to paper and saying maybe we ought to do this.
Okay. How did being in the economic development department at the city help? Did it help at all? Because everybody who's got to sign off on your applications and
so that's a great question. So I was what we call program. Not only was I the director of economic development, I was program administrator for our local small business development fund. And so in the course of being that economic development director for 5 years, we did 25 some loans and catalyzed $7 million of small business investment in this community when I was in that position. But I specifically did not apply for those resources because I was that program administrator, and our third business partner, Jade Stunkel, is still on city council. And so there was just way too much conflict of interest there. But from a permitting standpoint and jumping through all the all the red tape and all the bureaucratic hoops to get a brewery open, I had some relative experience in doing that.
Yeah.
And so we were able to construct a brand new facility in downtown Ord, because there was one empty lot in downtown Ord that was available for new building construction. We were able to construct, build out, license, and plug and play and rock and roll and start brewing beer within 11 months. So
now, hang on, slow down one second. First of all, that's astonishing. But second of all, how many? What size brewery did you say you put in?
3 barrels.
Now, I'm just kind of set aback here that you did new construction for this project. Like, already you're feeling it's a little risky, but we're going to go for it. Was there no existing construction that could house a 3-barrel brewery?
That's a great question. We looked at about 5, 6 different buildings, and they were, the amount of money that would take to retrofit and bring these 120-year-old downtown buildings up to code and up to speed with where we needed to be from a real estate perspective didn't exist. And the other side was like, even though like we're way out in the hills and like we're super remote, like this town's got this like weird, awesome, like positive energy.
Yeah.
Where like there's a lot of stuff going on. So, the downtown was full. There was very little real estate to get a hold of.
Wow.
We also looked at the fact that if we built our own building, and we can build it with some expansion plans, so we can grow into this building a little bit, which with other existing buildings we probably wouldn't have been able to.
I'm looking at the building now. I have to admit, because I'm a stereotyping asshole, that in my mind I'm seeing like all these Amish guys like hand raising up, like wall, like barn raising for you guys. Like I can't imagine.
That's Pennsylvania.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to imagine this new construction for a small brewery like that, and it looks fantastic. Now I'm looking at the picture, and it
makes sense to get. I mean, new construction. If there's an empty lot, it's a corner location amongst, like they said, a bunch of old downtown buildings. And if you get to build to spec, that's perfect.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And like Caleb said, too, always in the back of our mind, whether we admit it or not, was what's going to happen if this doesn't fly.
Yeah.
Well, we own a building.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fly, at least we own a building.
That's smart.
And we can do something with that. So
that's really
I don't think
smart.
too many breweries in the state of Nebraska actually own their own real estate, which we do. So we're very... and the other piece to it is like our overhead for doing business out here, outside of like freight for hops or grain or glass or bottles or everything else. I mean, freight is like is the biggest killer for us on business. But like the cost of doing business out here, like the cost per square foot for real estate is like obscenely low.
Okay,
like what's hilarious is like we talked, and I don't mean it hilarious for the victims of this story, but like when we talk to our fellow breweries and planning, like in Omaha, Nebraska, they're looking at lease space that's almost double what we pay in our bank note for our building, our operating note, and our equipment note. So it's like,
wow,
we're able to operate in a space where there was no competition and the cost of business being very, 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 very low.
Well, I also have to say, Caleb, that I like your philosophy. I like how you spoke to Mike and his wife about this by saying, look, we're going to take a risk, but we're still young enough to come back. And I think people should think about that when they're at your age. And
he also got us very drunk.
Well, that works too. That works too. But you know what I mean? Because it's worth taking a risk early on to do something that you love to do rather than just ending up a working stiff. You take a chance, and if you fail, you can still bounce back. And many times the stories that we hear here on the Brewing Network are folks that got into it a little later and they're already kind of tied up and it's they don't have that luxury. So I like hearing this from you. For some of our younger listeners, fucking go for it. You can bounce.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the best way to put it is it's better to do something and fail than live a life of regret.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the person that just said, like if I don't do this now, the market's only going to get more competitive. The cost of doing business is only going to increase.
Yeah.
And our ability to subsidize the brewery's needs with our time and young naivete, that window closes quickly when you get older. And so we were able to, I guess, throw our young dad bods against the equation. Actually do something with it.
Well, and what better thing to invest in than yourself? You either invest in yourself or the ether, which is your 401k. I rated my 401k. I invested myself into this, and it makes it all the more worthwhile.
Well, I know some idiots that shouldn't invest in themselves, but overall, you're right. As a general rule, I think you're correct.
That's a good point.
They should just invest in the stock market.
Those
way
of you.
safer.
All right, let me do this, guys. I got to take a break, and while we're at the break, we're going to get another one of your beers in our glass. I think we're going to get the Black Eye in our glass.
The what?
Yes.
Terrence is here?
No, not the black guy, the Black Eye. Yeah, we're going to put that.
How you say it.
Yeah, it depends on how fast I say it, I guess.
Yeah, black guy.
So let's do that. We'll take a real quick break. When we come back, more from the guys at Scratchtown Brewing Company. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Have you ever dreamed of attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lalamond and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lalamond and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2016 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition to the 2016 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology, worth almost $4,000. From now until December 11, 2015, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries into the Danstar 2016 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your homebrewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Lalamond and Danstar Premium Brewing Yeast and enter to win.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink has run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com. For nearly 40 years, one organization has had your back. The American Homebrewers Association. Are you a member? Why not? Join the more than 40,000 brewers who enjoy all the American Homebrewers Association has to offer. Like Zymergy Magazine, in print and online, plus the Zymergy app. Zymergy is the leading publication for amateur brewers around the world. Supporters also get member deals at their local breweries, bars, and homebrew shops. These alone quickly pay for your membership. You'll also get great member-only resources at homebrewersassociation.org and access to AHA events like the National Homebrewers Conference and the National Homebrew Competition. The American Homebrewers Association promotes the hobby of homebrewing, protects the interests of homebrewers, and brings beer lovers together. Become a member today. It costs less than a batch of beer and gives back so much more. Visit homebrewersassociation.org.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite Bare Bones Club, where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
You're tuned into this session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back.
It's getting harder and harder to tell the difference between on the air and off the air around here. The entire break, these guys are screaming, RJ Stillwalker! And they're cracking themselves up.
Oh, we'll dig you a well or sell you a car. Whatever you need.
Or do both.
Where else can you buy a Chrysler, a couch, or a brand new refrigerator?
I'm J.R. Stillmaker.
If you come on down to Art to...
You were better off the air, man.
Yeah.
J.R. Stillwater Jr.'s diesel fermentorium. We'll sell you gas, too.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Having a good time both on and off the air here at the Hop Grenade, the home of the Brewing Network. We are still talking to Caleb Pollard and Mike Kilmek from Scratchtown Brewing Company from Ord, Nebraska. And, all right, boys, in your glass right now, I believe it's your Imperial, is it Imperial Porter?
Yes.
It's the Black Eye, right?
Yep.
The black guy.
All right.
Still.
Now, this is a nice beer. Tell me about this beer.
This is one of the first beers I felt we had dialed in here. It's a whole homebrew recipe. Let me see if I can't pull it up. We got 2-row Munich, brown chocolate, and I wanted a nice strong beer that had a little bit of a heavier on the chocolate than the roast, and it's a good winter beer, something I really enjoy drinking.
It is.
And we've got kind of brutal winters out here. I mean, there's the Sandhills are like this, like
Fargo.
Well, not that far north, but it's kind of like Dances with Wolves out here, like open prairie, not a lot of like trees and whatnot, and so they can be kind of bitter. And so
watch out for those.
We wanted to winter warmer a little bit to snuggle with the ladies and and have a nice glass of beer by the fire and
skin a buffalo
for a session and enjoy a snowfall on a winter's eve. And this is a beer that kind of complemented that.
This is a great beer for that. And is this one of the beers you're talking about that did real well at the fair?
This is one of the ones that kind of surprised us when we originally served it to the locals. I had literally made this batch just for me and Caleb to drink or for our friends. We decided to take it to the local tasting, and it ended up becoming one of the 3 beers we opened with when we opened the brewery. And it was the beer that this summer we got gold at the U.S. Open.
Nice.
In Imperial Porter category. So
this is the kind of beer I think that breaks down some of the stereotypes. This is what I think about a beer. Like you hand this to a person who goes, I don't drink dark beer, or I don't do that. But you give them this, and they taste the chocolate, and they taste the roast, and it has all of this flavor, and they go, oh. Well, now why didn't you tell me it was like that? If you had told me that, I'd have been drinking this all along. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it just sort of breaks down the stereotype of I don't drink beer like that.
And I think you're exactly right, and I think that what our locals would agree with that. We got a group, we call them the Porter supporters. You know, when this is on, this is their beer, and they bitch when it's not. So
they do, and they're pretty vociferous when it comes to their dark beers. I mean, that's one of the things that porters are my absolute favorite kind of beer.
Okay.
And I think a well-made porter is a hard thing to find sometimes, to be honest with you guys.
I think you're right.
There's a IPA is still the craze, and now obviously sours, lambics, et cetera, really kind of, becoming the hot thing that people are looking at. But, then there's the sessions, and, the big thing was Pilsner's also at GABF, and the thing, it's like Mike and I talk about this a lot. The one thing I think that gets ignored so much is your obscure or your overlooked malty, approachable beers where, like you said, people say, I don't like dark beers, and then you turn on something like this, and then they're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then they jump into different kinds of stouts, or maybe it's a Baltic Porter, or they're jumping into cream stouts.
Yeah.
The category, obviously, is so wide open that it gives people an alternative, especially in the northern states, when you need something that's got some heft behind the malt bill. And that's what we like about this. And like Mike said, when it's not on tap, people kind of complain about it. And
and what is it, about 8% or so, a little over 8%?
Like 7.5, 7.6, something like that.
Okay.
So people come in August in Nebraska and want to drink this?
I like it.
Sometimes but not often.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's not something, we'll have it in June and July, but it doesn't move quite as fast. But especially now, since it's got a little bit of notoriety, we try to keep it on tap a little bit more and get some bottles out when we can. One thing we're pretty blessed with here, we don't have to treat our water. It comes straight out of the Ogallala Aquifer. The town doesn't treat it. We don't treat it. And while it makes all styles of beer pretty well, we feel that it kind of makes it's really good for making dark beers. So,
do you know the makeup of it?
We do.
I have it from Ward Labs. I don't have it in front of me, but
okay.
But is it high- is it higher?
What are the characters of it that make you think it's good for a beer like this?
I'd have to go check. I don't.
Well, is it high in alkalinity? Is that
high in what?
It's a little bit more alkaline. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It's
But
a little
that's
bit
a
more
dark beer.
hard.
The residual alkalinity is a little high.
Yeah, that's what you want for a dark beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting that nobody treats it. The city doesn't treat it before you guys get it or anything.
No.
Yeah, it's untreated. No fluoride, no chlorine.
Wow.
No reverse osmosis here at the brewery. I mean, it's literally unadulterated. It comes out of the ground and into the beer.
On some of our hoppier beers, I've adjusted the recipe because the perceived bitterness was a little higher than what we wanted. But instead of treating the water, we just kind of tweaked the recipe a little bit.
Do you use acidulated malt to make up for the pH?
No.
Let's go back to the no fluoride thing.
I was
we all got our teeth, I'll tell you what.
I would wager you don't.
Well, neither do I, and I've been drinking fluoride my whole life.
Yeah. Doc sees lots of mouths, so he knows statistically.
Yeah. I like this beer quite a bit. Can you tell us more about what about the chocolate malt and the roast malt? Any percentages there?
I'll pull up Beersmith here. It's I got pale malt is your base, just pale 2-row. About 13-14% Munich. I got some brown in there, chocolate. Got Crystal 120, Crystal 40, and then just to darken it a little bit, I added some Midnight Wheat. A simple, clean bittering hop and a little bit of Cascade at 10 minutes. So
okay, nice.
Well, that's great. You have a lot of body, but it's really dry.
Yeah,
just Cal Ale yeast.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Doc,
like I said, as far as I was concerned, being one of the first 2 or 3 beers we brewed, this is the one I thought we got dialed in for my taste, at least. I'm kind of lucky that these guys let me brew to my taste. So, like, if it's a style I don't like, or a batch I don't like, or a recipe I don't like, I don't have to brew it. So
there you go.
Nice. Or serve it, for that matter.
Or serve it.
I like that. Now, Doc, he mentioned about 13% Munich malt in this, and you're on record as not really being a fan of Munich. Can you pick it out in this beer? Can you taste that malt? Yeah.
But it's a fantastic beer. It's
Thank you.
As he said, he likes to tweak it to his style, which is on the sweeter side.
Okay,
I love this beer. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah, the Midnight Wheat adds an interesting roast character.
Yeah,
that was hard for me to pick out.
Okay.
Right now we have on tap, so like we're starting really kind of getting the middle of harvest, and harvest is a really big deal out here because we feed the rest of the world from this part of Nebraska.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So we start rotating our fall and winter beers on, and so a companion beer to this is a smoked porter we have on tap right now called Old 59, which is named after Mike's Uncle Rich's 59 Impala.
Nice.
And it's got a really nice Rausch malt addition to it on the base malt. And it's I would say a little bit thinner on the mouthfeel.
Yeah, it doesn't have quite the body. and a little sweetness to match the Roush model.
But smoky, and that, what's surprising is that, along with, we do a smoked Schwarzbier as well during this time of year. I think Mike's going to be brewing that in the next few weeks. And those two beers, you'd be surprised. We've never done like 100% a Roush beer here, but we've done these smoked beers, and the response from our locals as well has been like super overwhelming. So this is kind of like this gateway beer of the dark beer like threshold that we've kind of rolled out, and we've got like this super dedicated cult following. They're probably the smallest core group of our local business base here, but they're like I would say probably the most enthusiastic when it comes to these beers rolling on tap or rolling out in the packaged bottle.
Are you going to try 100% Rauch malt?
Mike and I would love to.
The good thing is about brewing 3 barrels is it's not a big financial risk to throw something out like that. So,
and if it doesn't sell, then we can drink it.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not getting thrown out. Let's be honest. It ends up back at home.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do you guys hand bottle? I see, because they're hand dated, and so I was kind of curious how you guys are bottling.
So what we did, and I kind of, again, looking at YouTube and looking at other small breweries, it's basically More Beer has the counter pressure filler, and I just rung 4 of them in a line using split them with teas.
Yeah,
and we bottle condition. So I'll mix when I fill the bright, I'll mix in the carbonation, the priming sugar and yeast, and we'll just bottle still through the More Beer fillers. And
nice.
3 of us can do 3 barrels in about
4 hours,
4 hours.
That's what's set up and bottling and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it kind of, and that kind of like the way that we do that hand bottling is like I said to you guys in an email once, we kind of think of ourselves like the Millennium Falcon. We may not look like much out here, but we're one of the fastest ships in the galaxy.
Get it done.
It's kind of fun. We don't have access sometimes to the fancy. I guess the fancy setups or frankly can't afford it to some degree, and so we build a lot of our own equipment or our own processes out here that allow us to do these things without a lot of overhead when it comes to the equipment side.
The way I look at it is this: if we're going to be filling bottles with still beer and bottle conditioning, why spend $3,000-$4,000 on something when I can build it for $150? You know what I mean?
I think you're right. That's a good philosophy.
Do you have a labeler? Because all these labels are really straight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name's Mike. I'm the labeler.
Oh, wow.
And I'm straight.
They call him Level I Mike.
Literally have something. It's a couple pieces of plywood and a couple of dowels. I set the bottle on its side and pull the label through it. So
wow, love it.
All right, so they made it idiot proof.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Let me ask you something. We're about to try another beer, too, but before that, were there naysayers in the town, who you guys are talking about the plans and you're putting up this building, kind of telling you guys are nuts, you're not going to be able to sell that much beer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had people that said we wouldn't last 6 months. And so, like, one of them specifically, and I know they'll never listen to the show, so I'll talk about this.
Yeah, good.
They've got a particular a very English last name.
Okay.
And so when we got close to our 6-month anniversary, we made an ESB with their name, an English style ESB, and he was one of the first people that bought it in the tap room.
Wow!
And like Mike and I were working that night in the tap room, and I looked at him and I just high fived him. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like we just sold, basically like a big middle finger to one of the biggest naysayers in town. A beer, it felt so good to ring that money through the cash register. And so, I mean, yeah, there were some very vocal, and to a degree,
there still are.
There's some vocal people that think we're just a lark, or we're idiots, or we're crazy bastards out here in the sandhills. But
we're all three.
We're not sure you're not.
Yeah. Years
Go
later.
ahead, sorry.
In what context are they saying this? Are they like yelling outside the tap room? Do they write into the local paper?
Under their breath,
Damn you!
Yeah, there's been some written letters.
Really?
Wow. Small towns, the rumor mill. You go get your hair cut, and your hairdresser's telling you about your barber's telling you about so and so said you guys are a bunch of idiots. I mean, it's very very much a vocal minority.
Okay.
But it's still, you had something you have to deal with in the fishbowl of a small town that you don't have to necessarily deal with in a larger community unless, you pay too much attention to Untapped. You know what I mean? And so,
one thing in a smaller town, you don't have that anonymity of a bigger city. And
yeah.
I will say it was,
No shit,
it was
yeah, really.
earlier this summer. We had just finished our best month of sales ever.
Okay.
And somebody I used to work with sent me a text that, hey, my husband heard that you guys are closing your doors.
Oh, wow.
And that's the kind of stuff that we kind of have to answer here and there.
It takes
because
one idiot to make that up.
Yeah, like we're closing them tonight. When we close, we're reopening them tomorrow morning.
We usually close our doors every day.
Well, let me ask this, too. And by the way, I'm asking these things for other people in small communities that might want to open a brewery so that they can learn from your experience. You mentioned the tourism there with the lakes. And so where do you, even if you could estimate a percentage for me, where do you think your bread and butter is? Is it your local community that's buying most of your beer, or is it these tourists? What do you think?
I would say that it breaks down into thirds during what we call the haymaking season, which is summer. So Memorial Weekend to Labor Day weekend. A third locals, a third beer tourists, a third lake traffic.
Okay.
But when you get outside of that, you get into the shoulder seasons, which are the seasons that kind of bookend those summer months, and you get into the winter months. Predominantly, it's our locals that get us through that. But we put together about one big event every month, and as long as the weather cooperates, we'll get people that come in from Lincoln and Omaha, which are 2.5 to 3 hours away, for these events just for the day. And then for some of our other events, we get people that come from the coast. I mean, we've had probably 42, 43 states of the nation be in our tap room, or buy our beer and connect with us. So it's the beer tourism industry is still very much vibrant and growing. And even out here in the middle of nowhere, like case in point, I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago, we had a guy who him and his family were out vacationing in Yellowstone, and they were from Wisconsin. And they mapped out their return trip from Yellowstone with Untapped and looked at all the breweries through Omaha and Iowa on their way back to Wyoming, and they specifically stayed off the interstate to come see us.
I love that.
And landed in our tap room at a random Friday afternoon, and we hooked them up good. We sent them home happy and with a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And, we comped them some stuff, too, because, that stuff doesn't always happen often. But, then, like a week later, a guy comes in from Denmark, and he's like, I love dark beer, and I heard you guys got a great porter. And we're like, how'd you hear about it? And he's like, well, everybody's talking about it. I'm like, well, who the hell's everybody? You know what I mean? So it's,
I want to do a rural tour. I want to map out. I want to map my. I've done some cross country tours, and it's always on like Highway 80 or Interstate 80, I should say, or 70. I want to do one of these maps where you avoid the freeways and you hop around these little breweries. What a great time!
Don't take the RV.
Let's take the Hummer.
The RV's perfect. We can all fit in the back of the Hummer too. Okay. I think that's a smart idea. I think you're right about beer tourism in that way too, Caleb. I think.
And again, this is from growing up here. The one thing I think we kind of underestimated was the amount of beer tours that would be here. And it's every Friday,
weekend.
Saturday,
every weekend.
People from out of town. And the good thing is about us being this small is there's always an owner working the tap room, and hey, you're from Omaha. What brings you guys this way? And
sure,
a lot of times it's just the drive. So that's great.
That must be cool to hear and see.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's validating. I mean, and the other piece to it too. You go outside like the shoulder seasons and that, and those summer months and the winter months. Like our locals are just like they're insane in a good way. Like we have like this inside joke with our locals. We have a T-shirt that says, "Is it Thursday yet?" Because that's when our tap room opens is on Thursdays.
Nice.
And our Thursday night crowd is usually wall to wall, standing and rolling in our tap room, and it's only locals. It's only locals.
Wow, that's fun too.
Are you local? Cool. Do you guys have issues keeping up with the summer season with just a 3-barrel system? How do you guys balance?
We've had trouble keeping up since we opened.
Yeah.
Originally, we thought in our business plan we'd do 150 barrels a year and distribute 40%. Well, the first year we did 300 barrels and didn't distribute anything.
Wow.
Nice. And it took us 18 months before we even got any beer anywhere outside the tap room. So, yes, it's hard keeping up with the 3-barrel system. I don't think I'd change it because it would price us out of even getting started. So I'm glad we did what we did. But
and to build on that too, like we don't have investors, and we, because our market's so small, we wanted to do what we wanted to do. We were very uncompromising about creative control, corporate control, and growing into our marketplace. And we know now that we probably were too small when we opened, but we were in our young 30s when we started this thing out, and we along with a traditional bank loan, we financed this whole thing with our own blood, sweat, tears, and future dreams of our children, basically, to make this happen.
Hey, they can work for their own goddamn living.
That's exactly right.
They can work at the tap room.
Get a job.
Child labor laws are getting in the way of character building activities in the United States of America.
I
That's all
agree
gotta
with
say.
that. I agree.
Was the bank open to your idea?
The first one wasn't. We got a flat no. So that was that was like the first naysayer, which I loved because we went to the second bank, and unbeknownst to us, he was like one of the executives of the bank. He was a huge craft beer lover, and he was like, "I want a brewery in my hometown." And so the doors kind of opened, and our past, I guess, reputation. I mean, small towns' reputation's a big deal. I mean, if you're a POS that doesn't contribute to the positive future of the community, that kind of follows you, and when you try to do something, a little bit different, and you've got a track record of making, I guess, good things happen in town, people want to invest in that. And so the second bank was like all in, and they've been phenomenal to work with since then.
And it's just a little Ord bank, right? Like a local bank?
Yeah, and more of a regional, like Central Nebraska bank. They had a merger, I want to say, a year and a half ago, with another small town bank. So they're quasi regional now. And when I say regional, just Central Nebraska. But for the most part, yeah.
I think reputation matters everywhere, by the way. I think that kids should learn this, that what you do and what you say and how you conduct yourself matters everywhere. But I really like hearing how it matters there, where it could help you get a bank loan and people know, they're not just looking at you like a piece of paper. They're actually paying attention to the other things you did.
Yeah.
God, that's refreshing.
The first bank that looked at us, the people that decisioned the loan was a branch bank not even in this community.
Okay.
And like you said, they looked at it like a piece of paper.
Sure.
And, the second one, it was a lot more of a personal touch, and it might have been a little bit more of a risk for them, but they took a little more into it and took a little more time to look at it.
And they're also some of our best customers. Yeah. I mean, they're in the tap room every week.
they genuinely wanted a local brewery, and I think that's great.
True believers.
I was going to ask what the predominant industry is of the locals. How do the locals make their money? Is it all over the place?
A little bit so. So I mean, ag is still king out here. So we've got we're like at the nexus between cattle country. Nebraska is the top beef producing state in all of the United States of America. So we're in cattle country. So what it is like these vast rolling prairie plains where cattle are raised on grass.
Okay.
And the other piece to it is row crop farming. We also have some small manufacturing here, and then we have controversy or not, we've got an ethanol plant here that takes corn and makes ethanol out of it. They were the first brewery technically in this area because obviously they make corn beer and then they distill it down to ethanol.
Sure.
And so one of our first employees we poached from the ethanol plant because he was in the production side of things and he knows how that whole cycle works.
Nice. I like that. All right, the Lord is in our glass. I think our last beer that we have for the night. Tell us about this beer. It's also tasting fantastic.
This is a beer we originally brewed. It was, 12-12-12, the Mayan apocalypse, and we all thought the world was going to end. And I said, well,
we all did.
If we're going to die on 12-12-12, I'm going to die making a 12% Imperial Stout.
Nice.
It's just, and actually I'm brewing this year's batch tomorrow, but it's a Russian Imperial Stout, decent chunk of oats in it. Let me see what I got here. What I'll do is once fermentation starts, I'll feed it some dextrose a couple times, but it's 2 rows, some oats, roast barley, a little chocolate, some special bee to give it that kind of dark fruit, but...
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are also, you got a treat. I mean, you've got last year's edition.
Oh, nice.
Chance to cellar. And I think really, it's really come into its own over the course of the last, 10 months.
Oh, it tastes great.
This is a 12%.
What did you...
You guys are doing really good with your fermentations. I'm not getting any alcohol heat.
No, this is 12%?
Yeah, this one...
Yeah, close to 13, actually.
Yeah, 12.7 is what you have on the Lord of Ord bottle.
Lordy. Wow.
And how did this age? In stainless or in bottles since last year?
Well, like I said, the bottle date on there is December of last year.
Yep.
And our since since we're small, our fermentation is in plastic conicals, so we have a fermentation room that's got about 14 fermenters in it that we keep at about 58 degrees.
Okay.
So a case of this has just been sitting in that dark room at 58 for the last year. So
wow. Well, it's holding up in a bottle well too. It's a nice beer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for sending that one.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Now we all want more. Guess we're going to Ord, Nebraska, boys.
Hey.
We'd love to have you.
Get off the main road.
Right.
We got some fancy stuff out here, boys.
It sounds like I might have to attach a boat to the back of the BNRV if we're
Sounds
going
like boating
if we're
country,
going
yeah.
to Ord. I think Jamil has one of those I can steal too.
Yeah, as if the brakes weren't fragile enough.
Yeah. Well, and
put the boat in front.
and the boat will have a V berth, so we got extra sleeping space.
There's Beardy's bed right there.
Oh, yeah. There'll be cushions to sleep on this time.
I'll order fresh
Anybody
fire
seen
extinguishers
Beardy?
tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, listen, gentlemen, the beer has been great, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys. And so I did want to ask this, but you covered it a little bit. You do distribute outside the tap room now, too.
We do, yeah.
Okay.
We're in about, I'd say, 45 to 50 accounts between central and eastern Nebraska. And we do pulses of either draft or 22-ounce bombers. We're going to actually be bottling our first barrel-aged series here, probably, next week or the week after, in 750-milliliter bottles as well.
Nice.
One of which is a whiskey barrel-aged Black Imperial Porter, which is probably my favorite beer Mike's ever made. But we do it as we can. And, we had some retailers tell us that, you guys need to be on the shelves all the time. You guys need to do this. You guys need to do that. And I think some of the conventional wisdom in the beer world is just bunk. I mean, if you make a great product, whether it's available regularly or not, your true customers are going to seek you out. And at our size, I think we can afford that mindset a little bit, and so we do our best to get beer out the door. But like we tell our account when we set up all our distribution, and we told our distributor this, who thank goodness is a independently owned craft beer distributor. What we said was, this isn't going to be a regular gig until we grow as a company, which is happening. But it's going to be the best we can do. But we're taking care of home first. Home is why we're here. Home is why we're open. And this is what we do, and so we do some distribution out to other locations in central and eastern Nebraska, and we've had opportunities to look at probably 5 other states in the nation to distribute to. But I mean, that's comical right now at our size, and that's not
right.
something that we're real interested in doing right now.
Okay. Well, before I let you go, we do this little segment called the Happy Hour over here, where we get to learn a little bit about people's brewing disasters. And I saw in my notes that you guys had one where you walked in one day and lost some beer. Would you do a Happy Hour segment with us?
You got it.
All right, hang in there. Let me play it. Let me play our intro, and then we're going to learn about your disaster.
It's time for the BN Happy Hour.
This week's Happy Hour is brought to you by Scratchtown Brewing out of Ord, Nebraska. Yes, Scratchtown Brewing, in a town where the only thing more plentiful than cows is the pints served over the bar.
Now let's see who f***ed up this week.
All right, boys, so tell us about your brewing disaster.
Well, we last year, being that New Year's Eve was not on a normal night of business, we call that our annual business meeting.
Nice.
For the owners of Scratchtown, the 3 families of Scratchtown get together, and we basically get really fixed up, and we slightly talk about the future of the business, but mostly just enjoy each other's company. And that next day, I was coming in because we were open, and I was going to fill a growler for a friend who was leaving town early. And I walked in, and the whole back smelled like warm beer.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, man, we got a problem. And immediately ran to one of the bright tanks, and we had a gasket failure on the manway. And we had lost about 80% of an entire batch of beer, and it was going to be kegged the next day. So you look at that, and I'm the business guy of Scratchtown, so like my mind immediately starts calculating the amount of money that literally went down the drain.
Yep.
And so I called the Jade and Mike, and I was like, guys, get down here, we got a mess, we got to clean up quick. And then cry over spilt milk essentially. And
and we're pretty tight on our production schedule too. So to lose a batch,
right,
puts us behind.
It was our one flagship beer that we always have on tap, which is our it's a Bohemian Blonde Ale. It's basically our gateway drug to craft beer out here in Busch Light Country, and we needed it because we had a huge Christmas sales season, and we're out essentially. So we had to go a week to 2 weeks without our one flagship beer for. But what's funny is that sales did not drop off.
What I think was great is the people that only drank that beer when it fell off the tap, they decided to try something else.
Okay.
And then they don't.
They never
go back.
migrated back. They
Nice. Got them to do something else. Let me ask you this. I don't usually ask this question, although I should ask it more. When you found out what had happened, was there anything you could have done to prevent it from happening? Was it a mistake? Was it an equipment failure? Like, did you learn from it?
I honestly don't know what caused it.
Okay.
It was
all Mike's fault. It was all Mike's fault.
Yeah.
It had been on gas for about a day. We roughly take about 2 days to carb a batch, and it was fine. And for whatever reason, we know the door gasket failed because it only leaked to the bottom of where the door was.
Okay.
But if I could tell you what did it,
right,
I could sleep tonight.
Sure. So what? Yeah, it wasn't like you came in and you went, "Oh, you know what? Damn it! There was this little wrinkle in the gasket." It wasn't anything like that.
It could have been, but we didn't check it. I mean,
we were more in panic mode, cleanup mode.
Sure, I bet.
So.
So what do you do differently now that when you set that gasket?
Pray.
Have somebody else come in and sign off on it, or?
Since we didn't know what caused it, I tried to keep the same process. I wish I could tell you that we're doing something different.
Mike, I think you're full of shit. You close that thing and you pray to God now every time.
You don't know.
We do.
How can you sleep?
Duct tape all the way around.
Yeah, you do some sort of rain dance. I don't know what it is, but something different because you're like, just please don't.
It's a rain dance.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Were you honest with the consumers when you said you were out, or did you just be like, yeah, we're out?
I was. I told them. I said we had a batch that come out of the tank, and it all went on the floor. And
our New Year's resolution was to get
that was New Year's Day.
Gold.
That was the start of our year. So.
Drink in the dark, you sons of bitches, and enjoy it.
See, and those naysayers, they come in and they go, "See, I told you. I told you it wouldn't work."
Still don't know what we're doing.
You should have had a funeral for the thing.
Oh yeah,
sold tickets and had everyone dressed up in black and just.
It's a good party.
Say a few words.
Do any of the other naysayers come in? Because you said there was one guy that comes in and buys beer from you. Do the others come in?
Some of the naysayers are anonymous, so we don't know who's coming in.
Okay.
But they've got proxies they send in because they're chicken shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously?
And but I mean, by and large, not really. I mean, the naysayers are so drowned out now by the enthusiasm of the remainder of our local regulars that
sure
it just don't matter. I mean, if you do something that is of worth, whether it is small or large, some asshole who is either jealous or of evil of heart is going to say something about it.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're all down at the barbershop.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was just going to say, you know what I'd be if I lived in Ord? I'd be the gossip guy because I got this big stupid hair. I'd be down at the hairdresser every Sunday getting all the news about everybody.
Get your shit straight.
I'd be the guy.
And spreading false shit.
That's part of my shtick.
Yeah. So the barbershop was the old Twitter.
Yes.
I've gotten... Believe it or not, I've gotten bad-mouthed at the barbershop.
Have you?
When was the last time you went to the barbershop?
You mean your practice? Your practice has been bad-mouthed at the barbershop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Moraga's kind of a small town,
it's
too.
It's very unprofessional over there.
Small town deal.
It's a small town where I
get pantsed every time I go in.
All right, gentlemen. Folks, you can go to scratchtown.beer and check it out. It's a great website, actually. Very informative. You can learn about the story of these guys and how the brewery started. And there's always a beer menu there for the tap room, and you can get some Scratchtown gear. You can do it all. Plus, you can contact them and find out where you can buy the beer. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the program. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you guys for having us.
It's been a lot of fun. And, hey, thanks for sending the beer. It's some really tasty stuff. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I hope we see you in Ord one day. We're going to be the people who pull in a big, ugly, dirty, tourist-looking RV.
We'll be the Californians.
We're gonna pile out.
Narrow that down.
Okay, sorry. Wait, we'll be the overweight ones that are white.
Still not enough.
Shit. Well, we're getting
We'll
close.
have a baby.
We'll be the ones looking for the
We'll be the
IPA.
ones coming from the barbershop talking shit.
Actually, you know what? Let's just make this easier. You guys come to the studio.
There we go.
All right, that's the deal. My brother lives in Oakland, so I think we can make that happen.
Perfect. Anytime you guys are out here, let us know. We'll put you back on the show. We'll have you in the studio.
Brother with an R or brother with an A?
Both.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Yeah,
Take
thanks,
care.
dudes. And I want to
Cheers.
thank Travis Lowens, the listener that suggested and brought Scratchtown to my attention in the first place. Thanks,
Yeah.
Travis.
Good job, Travis. A great interview and fun to talk with those guys. So, excellent times. All right, hey, if you want to learn more about craft beer, in fact, I like this about these guys. It's even on their website. Go over to craftbeer.com and check it out. Craftbeer.com, bringing you the best in craft beer, and you can learn about all sorts of things. There are fall seasonals, and there's a whole style guide that'll really help you out. And the guys from Scratchtown put at the bottom of their website, it says, hey, you want to learn more about craft beer? Visit craftbeer.com, and I think that's a good idea. It's a good site for everybody. Share it with your friends. Go check it out over at craftbeer.com. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got some beer news to do. I think we're going to do some Drunk of the Week phone calls tonight. We got some messages to get through.
Yeah, there's a guy in the chat room who's gunning for it.
All right.
Yeah.
No, some live calls, too, then.
Yeah.
Hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast packaged using their FlexCell process ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, FlexCell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
All right. Thanks for sticking with us, ladies and gentlemen. Also, thanks to our guest tonight. It was just a great time talking to the boys from Nebraska from Scratchtown Brewing Company, and great beer that they shared with us. So that was nice of them to be on here. We got a few things left to do. We're going to do some beer news, but also, believe it or not,
I'm walking on air.
I don't believe it.
Jeez.
Name this.
We're gonna taste
Name the series.
We're gonna taste some. Great American
Flying
Hero.
away.
Greatest American.
A greatest American
Thank
Hero.
you very much for the clarification. Sorry,
yeah.
please continue.
So we're gonna try some homebrew on the program.
RJ Stockwater.
RJ Stillsucker. I tell you, I've been selling cars since 1979. When I don't do that, I dig wells.
I'll sell your car a car. I guarantee it.
In the meantime, we're going to try some homebrew. Also, it looks like I have a
homebrew.
I have a drunk of the week phone call. It looks like
Really?
Already?
Yeah, Zach.
That's a thing.
We got Zach from Indiana on the line. Zach, what's happening, dude?
Hey, that's this guy.
Yep.
Off to a good start.
I like it. Hey, the man still knows his name. It's a good start.
Yeah. Hey.
Zach,
So,
go ahead.
no, you follow. I mean, you lead.
Is that Zach with a K?
Well, you never know
YC.
when Bevo spells it. You never know.
Scott typed
Vivo.
that one.
Just ZAC, I promise.
ZAC.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
That's lame.
Yeah.
That might be worse.
Yeah, that's worse. Your parents don't like you.
Oh.
What about when you're sober? Is it still just
abbreviating
ZAC?
it.
All right.
Sorry?
So what are you up to tonight? Just drinking a lot?
Just drinking a lot of homebrews. That's all it is.
What beer is it? What kind of homebrew?
Oh, mostly wheat beers, but I also had a double IPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
About how many ounces?
It's a good mix, Zach, with a C.
I don't I don't do ounces, but I do 12 beers. And
nice.
11 wheats with one double IPA, and all tonight within the program.
Within the program. This man's drinking.
Wow.
So
yeah.
no pregame.
I went all out. I'm a long-time listener,
right.
but first-time liver.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, you're doing it right.
I try. I know how it goes.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
Oh, I do. But not till later.
I'm at work right now.
I drive a cab. I'm a New York City cab driver.
You know how we do it in Indiana. Only cab drivers. That's all we do.
Are you married?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm totally married.
Totally. As opposed to partially.
And where's your wife right now? Totally asleep?
Oh, totally asleep. She's in the bed.
That's good.
She's in the bed where she belongs. Because she ain't in the kitchen, is she? She's in the bed.
No, she was in the kitchen earlier, and then she came to the bed after the couches.
Are you in the basement? Because you're talking pretty loud right now. Where are you?
Am I what?
Where are
Sorry?
you?
Oh, I'm in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen.
Oh.
Where I belong.
And then I'll be on the couch, and then I'll be on the bed. What'd I fucking say?
You know, it's funny. I was just
say the couches.
I feel like I never came home. I was in Nashville and Louisville this weekend. And between the guest and you idiots with your fake accents and the caller.
Oh, yeah.
I never came home.
AJ Comstock!
There you go. I'm still there.
All
Used to live in Knoxville, but Indiana now.
You have a lobster
so I
lobster?
understand the Nashville. No, Knoxville. Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville.
Football.
Never heard of it.
No.
It's in Tennessee.
All right, Zach, you're in the running for Drunk of the Week. Is there anything you'd like to tell us, like what kind of weird shit you're going to do tonight that no one else will know about?
I'm probably going to pee all over my wife tonight because that's a tradition.
In the bed.
It's a tradition.
That's a tradition.
Are you going to do that before or after you pass out?
In between. That's what I do.
Here at RJ Stillwater Marriage Counseling, we recommend one thing and one thing only: the healing, nurturing waters of the male body.
All I want is a motherfucking medal. And I have to pee on my wife for that medal. I'll do it.
You gotta,
oh, goddamn, do it!
You gotta shower her with your love.
Your golden love, golden
I think
love
that
drop.
means something
All right.
else, Warren.
I'll tell you what, Zach. If you go in there right now, and you stand at the foot of the bed
Oh, my God.
and you pee on your wife, I will make you drunk of the century.
I will never be prouder. I'm never going to be prouder of this show.
Tasty will never be.
I'll never be prouder.
Well, we got to give him a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, you'll get everything. You'll get one of everything.
Yes.
Tickets to Winterfest.
Well, hey, Bevo has no worries because much like Doc, she's a dentist, and I would get thrown out of the house, and that's all there is to it.
Oh, his wife's a dentist.
Bevo's not a
Don't pee in her mouth.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're not heathens. I'm not asking you to pee in her mouth. I'm just saying on her.
Is she asleep right now?
Oh, I think she's asleep.
So she won't even know. She'll have a dream about a warm jacuzzi.
She might pee the bed if she gets peed on.
Hey, she'll think you finally took her to Hawaii.
And you can always fall back on that as a tradition.
No, we've done all that. I don't think the recognition would.
We've done all that.
You don't think it's worth the accolades?
Hey, when you show her the medal, it'll all be worth it.
Right. Is this SR1?
You can always fake that you were, sleep peeing. Like it's not like you have to go
with the phone in one hand.
Phone in your hand.
And if she doesn't wake up, she peed the bed.
Right.
Is this SR1 from the chat room?
Yeah, well, there's SR1 Brewer and my partner State Road 1 Brewer.
What kind of partner are we talking about? What kind of marriage are you in?
Not that kind of partner because I got a wife that's dentist, so that wouldn't make sense.
His wife is in the bed. His partner is in the kitchen with him right now.
Everyone got a girlfriend and a wife. Trying to say.
No. We've ruined a one-barrel system. We're in the garage.
What the fuck does that have to do with...
Hey, listen.
He's drunk.
Bevo, you don't have to worry. My wife's a dentist.
Much like Bevo.
Right, nobody has
Pluto
to worry.
is the planet. What? Because some guy in the chat, messaged me and was like, "Look, I know this dude. He's calling in.
Oh,
he's the drunkest I've ever seen him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's his partner.
That's his partner. His partner.
I usually don't stumble across the kitchen.
You might fall.
But I'm stumbling across the kitchen. But I could go in the bedroom.
All right, Zach, you're in a strong position to win Drunk of the Week.
But
maybe not Drunk of the Century.
Would be if you were take a position at the foot of the bed and whip the old dog.
Assume the position at the foot of the bed.
Does that mean they get a medal? I mean, I really
Well, you haven't gotten shit yet. I'll tell you that.
That'd be a whole other category.
We told you how to win.
If you follow your family's tradition, weird as it is, German roots and all, you get the medal. You get a
very
shirt.
German. Yes,
shut up.
You're totally
stop it. You get a shirt. You get the warhead. You get tickets to Winterfest. You get like the thing, the whole package, my friend.
And all you got to do is pee on a girl.
Picture of this.
Drip, drip, drop, drop.
Oh, he woke her up.
No, I was trying to take a picture, but she says no.
Well,
if you pee on her while she's awake,
that doesn't count.
Oh, then you
get drunk of 2 centuries.
You're everybody's hero.
Yeah. Suddenly she woke up. I don't know why she woke up, but she woke up because
you're screaming
I was on the bed.
Can I talk to her for a second?
Do you want to talk to her?
I would like to speak with her.
All right, here we go.
What's her name, Zach?
And game one.
Zach, what's her name?
Zach.
What?
Her name is also Zach?
No. Her name is
Scott
Kelly.
with one T.
Is Kelly. Okay, thank you.
With 4 L's.
No, my middle name is Scott. My middle name is Scott.
All right, hand the phone to Kelly.
All right, here you go.
She hung up.
Hello.
Hi, Kelly. I'm sorry.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm sorry that we woke you out. Listen, I have to tell you something very disturbing. Listen, Zach had this crazy idea in his head that if he went into the bedroom and peed on you, that he would win this silly thing, this Drunk of the Week thing.
We've been trying to talk him out.
We told him that, Zach, don't do it. This is a crazy idea.
Yes.
He might tell you otherwise.
But he was hell-bent on... So I don't know when you caught him. Like, I don't know if he had his pants down yet. But he was going to pee on you.
He does not have pants on right now. He does have his boxers on, but somewhere his pants were lost. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, my.
I thought you should know. We advised against it.
You might get him some help.
Because it's live radio.
Yes, I am really...
Does he do this? Does he do this sort of thing?
Or something. I'm not sure.
Has this happened before?
Thank you.
I have never seen this grown man giggle so much in my whole life.
He's helpless.
And there's a distinction between giggling and laughing.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly,
Yes, he has some sort of giggle going on right now.
Kelly,
He keeps telling me he loves JP.
Okay.
I love him too.
Yeah.
he's definitely delirious.
Yeah.
Kelly, do you have a rain suit that you would like wear?
Do you have some sort of...
No, I do not have a poncho or rain suit.
How about just like a hefty garbage bag?
What's your favorite Fred Astaire movie?
How about gloves and a mask?
No, get down. Get off the bed. Get down.
You no longer get on the bed. No
Is that
more.
your
No,
untrained
he's like
Labrador?
trying to stand on the bed. I don't know what's going on.
I
right now.
told you what's going
Trying
on.
to make it rain.
We tried to stop him. We tried to stop him.
I'm gonna make it rain.
I don't know who
my
put
goodness.
this crazy idea in his head, but
He keeps saying something about the online
he's a listen.
EOTW. I'm not sure what's going on.
He's in.
on the internet, honey.
Have you heard of the?
He's a very competitive person.
Yeah.
When he heard there was a medal, that's all he's talking about. I
Right.
don't know.
Well, so he does have the chance to win a Drunk of the Week medal, and he thought if he peed on you, he'd get it.
Yeah, he really did. That was his. So if he tries,
is there any other way that this could happen?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
If he won the medal, then maybe we wouldn't have to go through this every Monday night.
That's true. So I'm afraid there is no other way, and you should probably just get it. You should get it over with this week, so that. I mean, it's better, Kelly, now that you're awake and you know it's coming.
Or I would suggest. I would suggest start sleeping.
I don't think I can do that.
Okay.
I would suggest start sleeping in the bathtub.
Well, I would say just go to the shower, warm up the water.
Yeah.
And then you won't even know the
insert
difference.
what you want, and then just
You could even get in your bathing suit.
Kelly,
That's what Beardy over there does.
Right.
This is a
Kelly,
terrible
have you ever-
idea.
No, I think you're probably right, Kelly.
Have you ever seen the medals? They're shiny.
They're
really pretty.
They're solid nickel.
Oh yeah.
It better be a great medal.
With a ribbon you can
nickel,
wear
that's
around your
great.
neck.
Yeah.
Well, it's plated. We're not. We're not.
But there's covenant, and we only give out a few
because we can only afford a few.
All right, Kelly, you're awesome. We will let you go and get back to sleep. And,
all right. Well,
but if something happens, call us back.
Hopefully you don't get peed
No,
on.
we don't want Zach back. Zach's all yours now.
great. Yeah,
but just do us a favor. Tell him he is in the running for Drunk of the Week, and thank you both for
You're in the running for Drunk of the Week, and thank you. He would like to talk to you again, I think.
Okay.
Sure he would.
Thanks, Kelly. All right. Later, Zach. So
he's still talking.
All right, so Zach's in the running for Drunk of the Week. And,
we really took the high ground there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. But Kelly's a sweetheart, too.
Threw him under the bus.
He climbed up on the bed while she was on the phone trying to pee on her.
I hope that tomorrow she's like, so really, Zach, it was your idea to pee on me?
That's a good woman. I wouldn't have gotten on the phone with you idiots. I would have been so mad.
We got to talk about.
I've seen you that mad, Bevo.
So you can attest to this.
Yes, I can. All I was doing was singing on the front porch of your hotel room.
Before we get to the beer news, we have a homebrew in front of us. Our friend Jeremy, all the way from Virginia, is in the studio tonight. Jeremy, what's happening?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Thanks for coming out and bringing us beer, man.
Yeah, starting the meltdown, I could see.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
You look like a Virginian.
Oh, thanks.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Got a little meat on his bones? Is that what you're saying?
Isn't that all homebrewers? Smile, I think.
Sure. All right, so Jeremy's a listener and brought us some beer to try. What do we have here in our glass?
Yeah, so this is a 11-month-old alt beer, Dusseldorf alt beer.
Alt beer.
Yeah.
I like this beer.
It's kind of, to certain people, when you give it to them, they're like, oh, this is kind of boring because everything's double IPA, bourbon barrel.
Yeah.
But, you could get to regular styles, so I brewed this for the summer. And with this and some Kolsch, different beers for summertime, and then this winter you'll go back to those heavy stouts with wood age and things like that.
This is nice.
It's not a style that's necessarily supposed to be aged, is it?
Yeah, not 11 months.
No, and Jeremy told me that off air, so I suggested, hey, why don't we try it on air anyway and just talk about it? So, yeah, he agreed. It's a little bit old, but actually, I think it's tasting okay.
I just looked it up. It's 7 months.
7 months.
I realized, once I have a kid now, so I bought. What I did was, oh crap, I'm going to have a kid.
Yeah.
So that means I can't brew every other week
or ever again.
Right. So I said I got to buy the 26-gallon pots for more beer. So now that since I'm brewing every other month now, then I could have double, 20 gallons of beer. So I brewed this as a 20-gallon batch, and this is actually 7 months old. So I was
7 months old.
It's showing its age. It's not unpleasant, but you can tell. Yeah.
For a 7-month-old homebrew, hand bottled, this is awesome.
It's pretty stellar, right?
I would love to have tasted this beer when it was freshly bottled.
Yeah.
This beer it's a dark beer. It holds up really well.
It's got a little bit of raisin oxidation, but just a tiny amount.
Yep.
And this has been in the keg the whole time, and then before I flew here, I put it in the Blickman gun to give to some family, and then I showed up here and I went, you know what? I might have the guts to sit in front of you guys.
Nice.
I've been listening for a long time. I'm like, oh man, I can imagine bringing my beers in front of everybody. So, but be honest, and I know it's old beer, but I'll take whatever you got.
It's actually really, really good.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think, like Beardy said, I would love to have tasted it when it was about 2 months old, a month or two old. I think it's holding up okay. I think raisin is the right character. Or was that you, Beardy, that said it's showing just a little bit of raisin with its age? But honestly, I kind of like that flavor. It maybe doesn't make it an alt beer anymore, but it's a nice, it's pleasant. It's not an unpleasant flavor. What kind of yeast did you use to ferment this?
So I used White Labs. I pretty much only use White Labs just because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I bought it for more beer.
Okay.
And it's WPL 036, the Dusseldorf alt. And then I think I fermented it just in the basement. In Virginia at that time, I could keep the basement around 58 to 63-ish.
Okay.
Perfect. So, depending on the day. So it kind of was perfect conditions. Now here, California, you don't have basements. But actually, saying I'm looking like a Virginia, I just moved there 3 years ago from Southern California. So, yeah. So
well, you also look like a Mexican, so you're also Southern California. And that's fine.
It matters who I'm around,
Now you got a basement. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Right?
Definitely. This beer seems stronger than I remember alts typically being. What is this beer?
So this beer actually, let's see, I have to look.
Using Beersmith, I see.
Yeah, I use Beersmith.
Attaboy.
This man came prepared. He's looking in his laptop. He's got his numbers.
You could have just printed it out and not brought the whole damn laptop.
I didn't even think I was going to give it to you today, so I was kind of, oh crap, what's the recipe? It's been 7 months.
Doc's very old school. He still has a black book and everything. Don't worry about Doc. Yeah. You could have you could have printed it out.
You're a little bit on the chunky side.
Dead air time.
Doc would have preferred it in Morse code.
Yes. Sorry.
Semaphore.
Sorry. So it started at 10:52, and then it finished out probably around 10:12 ish. So what's the calculation there, Doc?
Oh, it's like 80% alcohol, I think.
It's not too
Really?
big.
Then it's got a nice body.
like 5.5.
I like. I thought it was
5.2.
but
512 is probably towards the higher end of finishing gravity for alt, but still within the window.
Well, there you go. It says beerdy.
very good.
You're right.
Any age characteristic is far outweighed by the great flavor.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And this is a great beer to give to people that are, I like I said, I just moved in California, man. That beer went by quick. And anybody, I'll bring a growler. But when you go, I'm in Virginia, I'm new now, so I'm making new friends. And so when you got 20 gallons of beer, you're kind of like, crap. So you almost got to start making beer that can sit for a little bit. And then people that come in and want to try your beer.
Time.
It's not some crazy beer. It's this is easy to drink.
Sure.
A Kolsch. I got a bourbon barrel from DC Brow out there, and then I put a pizza port brown recipe in there, and it turns sour.
Nice.
And so it's actually like a nice beginner sour for people. And some of these people are like, have never even heard of a sour beer. So
Sure.
you kind of got to make those things that are.
You're making some friends in Virginia right now.
I'm trying. Yeah.
All right.
It's nice and clear to use findings, or did you just let 7 months settle the yeast out?
So I use a Werflock, and then I actually use Clarity Firm.
Okay.
And just to clarify, I brew all grain, but I put the Clarity Firm gel in here in each 5-gallon. I put a vial in, and my wife, she's celiac, gluten intolerant.
Yeah.
She could actually drink my beer
because of the Clarity Firm.
So it worked for her.
Yeah, and
great.
And I have another friend who is even worse than my wife, and she says that she was
Like as a human being, or just or the gluten thing?
Well, I mean, we could judge on her life, but in gluten world, I would say more extreme. Like she would even use shampoos, and if they had wheat in it, she would break out in a rash.
Wow.
And so I've used Clarity Firm, and I'm pretty nervous to give it to her, and she tried it, no problem.
Okay.
And even my other cousin has narcolepsy caused by gluten.
Jesus Christ. Who are you hanging out with?
I know, these people, right? And so I'm like, try this beer.
Is that where you sleep with dead people, or that's the one? No, that's different.
That's necrophilia.
I always confuse those two.
Narcolepsy is when you fall asleep.
Got
Dude,
it.
I'm a necrophilia.
Yeah. Those ones, I don't know what it is. I always get them confused.
All the time.
I just can't stop. I'm always necrophilian.
Yeah.
So, and that guy can drink it too?
So this girl, I give this girl, and she's telling me, well, I pass out. Yeah, that seems to be. She's telling me I could pass out. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to give her this bottle. She's going to pass out and fall and hit her glass bottle in her face.
Right, and then a necrophiliac's going to come in.
Yeah, no problem. So I give credit to White Labs for making this.
Yeah.
My wife, she was always like, I don't like ciders, and there's not very many good gluten-free beers out there.
And now she can taste it.
Now she could have full body beer and not
it's a badass product. And White Labs, I think they put it on the vial. They don't claim that it makes it 0%, but they basically are saying that it makes the levels of gluten so minuscule, so like unmeasurable almost, that for they have to be safe about how they say it.
Right.
But they say it's for most people. And you're giving some great examples of most people who have these problems.
Right.
So,
just try it out with someone and
it's easy. So what do? You just dump a vial in the thing and that's that?
I literally, I'm already using Clarity Firm to clarify my beer, but so when I'm brewing a Kolsch or something, this only helps. It'll clarify my beer even more.
Yeah.
When I put in the yeast, I'll put in the White Labs vial.
Okay.
Of the Clarity Firm.
Right at the same time.
And that's it.
Wow.
And so now my beer's clearer than it was before.
Yeah.
And now I potentially could give it to people that have gluten issues.
I love it.
And
it's a miracle product.
I feel safe giving it to them. Just like try it. And then they're excited, like, oh man! And then they get excited about homebrew.
Sure.
So it kind of opens that to them.
And one concern I had when they were telling me about it was, okay, it's going to eat all the body out of the beer too. But this beer has plenty of body. And
everything I've heard on the sensory side has been really
Mitch
good.
from Stone says the same thing, that he had some, I think, concerns that it might do that, and he says there is no noticeable difference in their beer when they use Clarity Firm.
Yeah.
So
I believe it now.
Yeah.
And he's got the Delicious IPA, which is the gluten reduced, which I think is probably the best one out there for gluten free beers.
Okay. Yeah. Good call. Yeah. Well, it's a great beer. Thanks for sharing.
Question,
yeah.
By the way, real fast before we let him go. I wonder why they haven't had any necrophiliacs on The Walking Dead. You think it would be a perfect platform?
Yeah, a
to
whole
address
episode
those
at least.
issues,
That would
right?
be heaven for them.
The zombies.
Right? Yes,
Yeah.
right? See?
Yeah.
Because they can still move, but technically they're dead and they're rotting inside.
Well,
and
it has
that's
to be a group effort, probably.
Yeah.
So I'm joking about me getting these things confused, but it's not really a joke. When I was the host.
Wait, so you are a necrophiliac?
For 2 seasons or something of that local show, that Carpool Showdown here in the Bay Area, and it was like a ripoff of the Cash Cab. It's like this trivia show. We'd pick up people, we'd drive them. And this one episode, and I'm still mortified by it. I think about it all the time. This one episode, I don't even know how it came up, but something happened, and the person was talking about falling asleep a lot, and I meant to say that they have narcolepsy, and I was like, "Oh, you're a necrophiliac." And but the thing is, I didn't catch it at the moment, and neither did any of the other idiots in the car because they were fucking idiots. Yeah. But about 15 minutes later, I just had thought about it, and I went, "You fucking moron." And on television, you just said this to somebody. And I know that the editor at the TV station was too stupid to catch it either. So it went over the airwaves.
You couldn't pass a note down?
It's by then it was too late. It went over the airwaves, and it just... What a mess. And I remember thinking... You do not belong on television. You're an idiot. You just called this person a fucking... right. On television, on public television.
How did that clip not go viral? You were very lucky.
Right. I think nobody caught it.
Because no one watches that shit.
Well, it could have just messing with him, too.
Right, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, now that would be the best case scenario, Doc. But really, I just misspoke like a moron. And I just remember feeling like, God, you're an idiot. You do not belong on television.
Way to go, dude.
Yeah. That could have been your big break.
Yeah, could have been.
Well, that's why I didn't get a big break.
Exactly. That's why I'm still here with you, bozos.
Yeah.
And this guy from Virginia.
Yeah. This Mexican from Virginia.
This Mexican living in Virginia.
Well, see, I'm around white people, so then they call me Mexican. But when I'm around Mexican people, they call me white guy.
Yeah, sure. You can't win.
I never fit in. It never works.
I would just start associating with black guys. Just say you're black.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, that might work.
All right, well, thanks for bringing the beer in. You're welcome to stick around. We're just going to do a couple more things, so if you want to hang out here. And
yeah, thank you guys, and just shout out to my homebrew club, Grist in Nova, and also Dough.
Nice.
And then in California, we had Redlands Mash, but just like to say, you guys should not drop out of your club points thing. I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, yes.
Somebody wrote to me this week saying, "Hey, I think we should enter the." AJ's
Corpsebanger! AJ Corpsebanger!
There's a lot of specialness happening today.
Get hard, come see me at AJ's Corpse Humpers.
Corpse Humper.
And crematorium.
I will cure your necrophilia and give you narcolepsy. AJ Storkbanger.
Dirk Berger.
So somebody wrote me this email and said, from our Brewing Network club, and said, "Hey, I think we should enter the club into the California homebrew competition." And I'm like, "Are you fucking with me, man? Like, that's what I need now? I need us to win the California homebrew competition,
like the state fair? What are you talking about?
Well, it's the one that's like a. It's the one with Anchor, and Anchor decides whatever it is. It has a name. Maybe it's not the California.
No, it's Homebrew Club of the Year, but it's
for California.
But it's for California.
It's the California Homebrew Club of the Year, and I'm like, really? I need that.
You don't have anybody in your club that could write the essay.
The guy who wrote in was going to write the essay.
Okay, fine.
It was, and I just thought, this is a bad idea. If we win this, I need to hear that too. Now, the national one, the California one. I would like to lose. That'd be fine. I think he just wanted...
Because this is when you're trying.
Then we could do another live show at Anchor for the acceptance.
Great. That's what I want too, Beardy.
Another live show?
Another live show somewhere else.
Yeah. The guys that read those essays are like, friends of the show.
They're fans and friends.
Yeah, it'd be hard to...
lose.
They can't be both. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so I wrote, now here's what happens. If you enter, everybody gets 5 tickets to the award ceremony at Anchor. So a lot of homebrew clubs in California enter even though they know they're not going to win. And that's why this person wanted to enter. And I said, well, that's fine, except that I'm afraid we're going to win. So I would have to send a separate note to the Anchor guys and go, hey, we're entering. But you can't pick us, man. We can never win this competition. And I think we should drop out of the national one, too. So take that.
I mean, I've been listening to you guys for a long time, but I still have found my local homebrew club, and I support that and try to get them doing it. But I still would love to see you guys be successful like that. I mean,
well, thanks,
my homebrew club will never, we'll never be able to compete against those and all that because of the numbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's a bunch of Mexicans in Virginia.
Yeah. I was surprised there were some there.
Well, right. He's one of 4.
Yeah. It's like, motorcycle riders, they wave to each other as they pass. He used to go. Go. That's like the teeth.
That's racist.
Is it? Mexicans aren't a race.
There's South Americans out there, not Mexicans.
Thank you very much.
It's a country.
No good Mexican food out there, I found.
Oh, no. There's no good Mexican food anywhere except for in California and Mexico.
Yep. Yeah.
Which are practically the same thing.
Got here, I had In-N-Out. Next food I'm going to have is Mexican food.
Yeah.
So gotta
just
get the good
stick with
food.
In-N-Out.
Well, they have Tex-Mex, but they have to call it Tex-Mex.
And it's also not the same. So I like to travel, and I would like to live in other parts of the world for short periods of time, but I'll tell you, I don't know that I can live without Mexican food, man. It is like I am born and bred on that stuff, and it is so goddamn good. If I go away for 2 weeks, I am craving some Mexican food like you haven't seen.
I have to make it at home. It's better than the restaurant.
See?
You go to the restaurant, there's Mexican food, and then you go there and there's pupusas. It's like, that's not Mexican
it's
food.
not Mexican food.
And then,
you got to make it at home.
Yeah, not the same.
And it's not even the same at home as it is at a good Mexican food place in California.
I think they put lard or something in there.
Oh, lots of lard, dude. You can't have Mexican food without lard. It's like having Chinese food without MSG. You don't do that.
This is wrong.
Can't stop once.
Wrong. It's just not right. All right. Yeah. Why don't we do this? We'll take a quick break, and we'll do some beer news when we get back. And I think we got some Drunk of the Week calls to play. Plus, of course, Zach's in the running for Drunk of the Week. You know, Zach,
he could win if he peed on his wife.
Chance you could win. There's still a chance to lock it in, bro.
So I think Zach might have called back.
Yeah, but you don't answer the phone.
No, I didn't.
Even though it's your fucking job.
I did answer the phone.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Here's my wife."
Oh.
And then I couldn't really understand what he said, and then the phone line went dead.
Right, because Kelly doesn't want to talk to us anymore.
Kelly
that asshole peed on me. Click.
Because the paramedics just hung up the phone.
Yeah. Although, do answer, because maybe he's calling to say, "All right, boys, I did it." The shit has hit the fan, but I did it.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, Zach, if you do actually pee at him, I will give you my Drunk of the Year medal.
You'll actually get docs.
My Drunk of the Year medal.
Signed.
Sign it?
Signed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll sign the back of it.
Yeah.
I'll pee on it, too.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's how you polish it before you do it.
Right. Yeah.
That's why it's all shiny.
Right.
All right, we'll take a quick break, about 4 minutes here. When we come back, we'll do some Drunk of the Week calls. We got some beer news to do, and then we're going to get out of here. Hang in there. It's The Session. Having fun.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Yeah! All right, welcome back to the program. Hey, don't forget to go over to adamandeve.com and get all the dirty stuff you need. Adamandeve.com, you can use coupon code BNARMY. You get 50% off just about any one item. You get...
It comes clean, though, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's not Craigslist for dildos.
Well, he said dirty stuff.
Can we get some extra DVDs of any choice?
Well, you do. You get 10 free DVDs. You get 50% off just about any one item. You get free shipping. You get a gift for her.
Ooh.
A gift for him, like if you brought a dude into your life, into the relationship, and you get a gift, and you get a gift for both of you, or all three of you at this point. I don't know how many. I don't know what's going on.
How many free DVDs? There's
10. God damn it! There's 10 free DVDs.
That's like $100. Can we get one about golden shower?
They're full length. Also, what about butt?
Yes, it's in there. You get dongs and butts, and I don't know what you want.
You can get, the Hateful Eight, if you know what I mean.
I don't know that.
It's the new Quentin Tarantino movie, but I always thought it'd be a great porn name.
It is a good porn name, but I just didn't know what it... I thought maybe I felt inexperienced.
No, I think it'd be like a skinhead gay porn flick about a guy who has an 8-inch wiener.
Yeah.
And he plays pool.
The Hateful Eight.
And he's a pool shark.
An orgy with 8 people who hate each other.
Yeah.
Grudge fuck.
And they don't know if...
All right, go to adamandeve.com and use coupon code BNARMY right now. And believe it or not, it's a great way to support us, and you get cool things without having to go to the creepy store on the corner. All right.
By the way, the Women's Rotary is having a meeting in the bar.
Saw that. Which is, hey, coupon code BNARMY,
they're
ladies.
Leaving now. So.
Interesting. All right, shall we do some beer news?
Yes.
All right. Beer news.
Yeah, brought to you by the Wine and Hop Shop out of Madison, Wisconsin. A lot going on with Anheuser-Busch.
Bush.
Yeah. We're not done with the Adam and Eve.
Sorry.
Her Bush.
As of today, they have made a 4th offer to SAB Miller. I reported a couple of news segments ago that they're trying to acquire SAB Miller and create a behemoth. AB said it had increased its offer to, for some reason, every story was reporting this in British pounds, so forgive me, 43.50 British pounds per share. That's a 48% hike over the price of their original offer. That's about, so there you go, $67 a share. SEB rejected 3 previous, and they rejected this one too, takeover attempts. They were 38.40 and 42.15 British pounds per share. The latest offer values SEB at about $104 billion, up from like 90 and change. So they're upping their offer slowly but surely, but SAB still thinks that it's wildly undervalued. Here's a statement from Jan Duplessis, the chairman of SAB Miller. Quote, AB needs SAB Miller, but it has made opportunistic and highly conditional proposals, elements of which have been deliberately designed to be unattractive to many of our shareholders. AB is very substantially undervaluing SAB Miller. That's a weird statement where he's saying they need us. So they need this acquisition to happen. He didn't say why.
Yeah, that's a weird statement. I wouldn't put it that way. But if he were to say it another way, like, hey, we hold all the fucking cards and they're trying to buy us out, they better pay some dough for it, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they're also saying they're putting conditions on it. What conditions are they putting on it?
Yeah. Well,
here's $1.104 billion, and also we want an SAB hat.
Right.
We need pint glasses.
Yeah.
And a brewer's shirt.
Yeah. Right. I want every commercial from the Miller catalog in the 1980s delivered on my desk tomorrow.
On DVD.
On a loop.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird timing because in the midst of all this, news came out also today that the U.S. Justice Department is investigating allegations that AB is seeking to curb competition by buying distributors. In the past few months, they have rattled the craft beer world by striking deals for 5 distributors in 3 different states. Regulators are also reviewing craft brewers' claims that AB pushes some independent distributors to only carry the company's products and end their ties with the craft industry, which is nothing new. State regulators here in California, where AB announced wholesaler purchases in Oakland and San Jose last month, are also looking into the matter. So they've got the state, at least this state, and the feds looking into their business practices.
Yeah, so this one's pretty interesting because the purchase of SAB Miller, they're claiming, and they might be right, doesn't really affect the U.S. market very much because they'll have to sell off the division of Miller Coors that they own here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it would keep the share that ABV, which is like 43.6% or something like that. It would keep it the same. But the distributor purchasing, that's a whole other deal. That does affect the market here in the U.S., and that's an interesting thing to watch. They're now buying up craft breweries and then buying distributors so that they would essentially have a craft beer portfolio of their own and could sort of block out some of the smaller breweries.
I've never understood how AB InBev can buy distributorships, because that's what the 3-tier system was why it was put in place almost 100 years ago. How are they even allowed to get controlling interest in distributorships?
I wish I had the answer to that, because I think you're right, and there is a loophole, essentially, that they're allowed to own distributors, but I think it's a valid point. That why are they allowed to own? I mean, I guess it's because you shouldn't be, if you operate within a free market, you should be allowed to distribute your own beer, and if by doing that, the best way to do that is to create your own distributor, then you shouldn't be blocked from doing so. But when you start buying up all these other distributors, you see what I'm saying? In a free market, it makes sense.
Is different than buying an existing one.
Well, but it's all part of the same loophole, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think it's pretty much you can operate it in all 3 tiers. You just got to obey all the rules in each tier.
Yeah, I think you're right. Although what's weird about that is that there are other times where where things are very strange. For example, I was talking to a friend who owns a brewery the other day, and you can own a bar. And you can own what is he saying? You can own a brewery.
You can be a necrophiliac.
Well, see, they're all so goddamn confusing.
You can own a brewery and a
2
board.
of the 3 things, like I'm talking about a distillery, a bar, and a brewery can't all be owned. But you can own a bar and a brewery, or you can own a distillery and a bar, but you can't own all 3. Like, there's rules about this in every part of the system.
Well,
except in the 3-tier system, apparently, where you can own all of them as long as you operate within the law.
And also, state by state is different also, because in Minnesota, you can't even own a brew pub and a production brewery.
Okay.
You have to choose which
one
path you want to go down. You can't be even any percent ownership in both.
And there's some of that in California, too, where you can't have this and you can't have that. It's a whole thing.
It's right, because distilleries are they are breweries. It's just there at them. They're breweries. They're brewing beer.
They are, but they're doing both. They're brewing beer and taking it another step forward and distilling beer.
Well,
they are doing 2 things.
They're not selling the beer. Right. They're only selling the finished beer.
Right.
Technically, it's not beer because they're not hopping it, right?
That's true. There's no hops. Is Gruit beer?
No.
It's not?
Yeah, it's malt liquor.
Yeah.
Or, well,
Okay, you're right. It's beer minus hops.
That's a whole,
Anyway.
But this distributor thing is tricky, and it's something that the big guys have been accused of for years, and it's something to watch as they're buying up breweries and now buying up. I'm glad that this is going to the courts so that they're being investigated, because I think it's important to know what's happening here.
We shall see what happens. There is sad news here in the Bay Area, the East Bay specifically. If you love barbecue and craft beer, and of course we all do, Perdition Smokehouse in Berkeley has closed suddenly. Again, as of today, a lot of news came out today. Details are scarce at this point, but owner Chuck Stilfen, he runs the. I don't know how often his actual name has come up on this show. Maybe not in a while, but he owns the Trappists, 2 Oakland locations. He also owns McKellar Bar in San Francisco. He confirmed via email yesterday that. Yesterday was Perdition's last day of business. Closure's permanent. He didn't really elaborate on the reason for his decision to close, but it seems like it has something to do with the fact that chef Mike O'Brien recently announced the decision to leave the company. He's the chef at both Perdition and the McKellar Bar.
Yeah.
So,
wow. You know anything about this, Stacey?
I would say it's mostly like Chuck says, we're going to close the place up, so, you're not going to have a job, Mike. Better look for one. Yeah. I think
you think that the Mike's departure came after the news that Perdition was going to close?
They've gone through a reset, a repricing. Obviously, what they did initially wasn't working, and they were just in a part of Berkeley that really lended itself to a pizza and a beer for $8, not like a barbecue,
not high-end barbecue,
and a beer for like $24 or something.
Trying to gouge people.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a price point, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Also, a barbecue joint in the vegan and vegetarian center of California.
Yeah.
But it was
it's Slaughter a Cow on the Sidewalk Wednesday down here at Perdition in Berkeley. AJ Storkill! You're going to slaughter cows outside of Perdition.
But like all Chuck's projects, it was well executed and well designed. It just didn't fit the market.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
The other projects, they're priced too high?
No, they're great. No, they're great.
But they're killing it. Whatever they're priced at, they're doing great.
Yeah, the market will bear it in their other locations, but not this one.
Yeah.
A couple more. New York-based private equity firm LNK has acquired a 15% stake in Dogfish Head.
Love those guys.
More transactions. Once again, financial terms of the deal weren't disclosed, as is the norm these days. LNK says that it typically invests $50 to $150 million in companies. And Dogfish Head is at 175,000 barrels, so using Justin's made-up system, we're looking at $17, $18 million or so.
At least.
Sounds right to me.
I think we should call it the Justinian system.
I'll tell you what, it's fucking working.
Let's email them. We need some investment.
Yeah.
So is Dogfish Head planning a big expansion? Why would they do this all of a sudden?
They haven't said outright, but one has to assume that's what's going on here. This equity firm, their investments are split 50-50 between minority and majority equity positions. Obviously, they've taken a minority here in Dogfish Head. They've invested in a lot of food and beverage companies like Neiman Ranch and Panera Bread, and they've sort of overseen big expansions by those brands, so perhaps that's what they're doing here with Dogfish Head. They also announced simultaneously, Dogfish Head, they're going to start slanging hard liquor under their Dogfish Head Distilling Co. banner. It'll debut in November. It'll include Dogfish Head analog vodka, compelling gin, whole leaf gin, a rum, a whiskey. So they're expanding not only their footprint with this company, maybe, or this investment firm, but also their brands and what they're selling.
What do you got, Jeremy?
No, I was just going to say that beer in our area is like Sam Adams. It's like
Dogfish.
Everywhere you go Uno Pizzeria or whatever, every little spot, it's like 60-minute.
Everybody's got it.
There. That's the beer. So it's almost kind of boring now. And out here, everybody's like, all right, that's good. But out there, it's kind of the same old thing. And their liquor is pretty good. I've even had like a peanut butter jelly vodka.
Of course, Of course, that's what they made.
Yeah, some crazy weird stuff like that. But solid stuff. But they are.
Yeah, they're
pretty
big.
Popular out there as a regular thing.
So we've heard people come on here and say, there's a couple ways to grow your company, and you can try to figure it out yourself. You can take on loans, which people aren't just giving away. You can sell a piece of your company to the same bank that may or may not give you a loan. You can sell to other beer companies. Like, that's just one of the models.
Yep.
And, Sam, after Golden Road, went on the record as saying, we'll never sell out like that. We'll never sell to the big guys. But he's got to do growth just like everybody else. So it sounds like let's make no mistake. He just sold 15% of his company.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he didn't sell it to AB, and that's fine. You could just there are principles maybe on who you sell to. But 15% of Dogfish Head just got sold off.
It's true.
It's not just a loan. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And they are expanding their Rehoboth Beach facility, the regular brew pub they have.
What about the Sea Life? Where are they going to go?
Yeah. They just kicked out some restaurant next door.
Oh.
And then now they're
not expanding into the ocean.
Well, they're on the beach. I don't know. He said the Rehoboth Beach.
Yeah, the man-made island.
It's close, but
I bet if it was up your ass.
they're pretty much expanding there, too.
Okay. Well, yeah, they're a growing company, and you got to get capital to do that. I always used to think, because I'm naive, and honestly I don't know shit about business. I always used to think, well, these people must be selling enough beer that they can just keep funding the expansions. But and Dogfish would be this perfect example in my mind. God, they're selling a lot of beer.
Yeah.
But clearly that's not the case. It is so expensive to keep these endeavors running, and then to do these major expansions, you're still not selling enough beer. You got, like any other industry, you got to take on some debt or.
And as a business. Equity is the most expensive way to raise money.
Yeah.
If you can, it's better to get a bank loan.
Yeah, if you can. But you're talking at the size of a Dogfish, how big is that loan? I mean, you're talking about an enormous loan. And
exactly.
Banks just aren't,
depending
they're
on
not
how
doing
healthy
that.
the business is.
Yeah.
But for the same reason, their size means that they'll get that much better, profit per unit sold, too. I mean, the numbers look good to the bank.
Right. And why would you loan money as a bank? Why would you loan $150 million?
Because you're guaranteed they'll pay the money back.
Right.
No.
Lower risk.
What I'm saying is, why, as a bank, why would you loan $150 million at just a percentage to get that money back when instead you can go, yeah, I'll give you $150 million for 15% of your company. Then you get paid back a larger dividend, is what I'm saying. So the banks would rather get a piece of your company, even though it's riskier, because they get paid a higher dividend on their money back. So when you're talking about at that scale, almost any bank would rather own a piece than just get a percentage of their loan back.
There's a liquidity issue, though, because they're getting a monthly payment versus ownership in a company. Their money's tied up in Dogfish Head until either Dogfish goes public or somehow decides to do a dividend or something like that.
It's still a sound investment compared to, say, oh, you're just going to give us 13% back on our cash, or we stand to make 15% of your business.
Yeah, but big banks, I don't know if they'd be that interested. A small bank might not have enough money for the $150 million loan that they'd be looking for.
Well, this is a bank that normally gives out money in the $150 million range.
It was a venture capital.
Private equity firm. And also, it's 15% of that, because that's how much Dogfish would theoretically be worth on your scale. It's 15% of $17.5 million.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was 150. Yeah. But your figure from them is that they will invest $150 million in companies.
Between 50 to 150, yes, that's right.
Just saying.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be interesting to follow Dogfish and everyone. Man, the whole industry is just, everything is just
big
so
shakeup.
crazy. Every day there's something.
Oh, I have to field calls every morning. People trying to buy us. And I'm like, no, guys, we're going to stand strong.
And they're like, please.
And I say,
the 15% route.
Yeah, I just keep saying, hey, listen, it's a small company. We're gonna hold our ground.
So on your scale of barrelage, we're worth nothing.
Yes.
Well, that's what they're offering.
Yeah, exactly right. I keep going. You call me back when you have $20, and then we're gonna talk.
One last one here. More big boys and craft beer stuff. Constellation Brands. That's like Corona, Modelo, Pacifico, Tsingtao. They are jumping into the craft beer game.
Uh-huh.
They are teaming up with Chicago celebrity chef Rick Bayless for a line of Mexican-inspired beers. I did the story just for you, Jeremy.
Don't they own a portfolio of Mexican-inspired beers?
Yeah, but these are, I suppose, craft beers. They're calling it Tocayo Brewing Company. Jeremy, what does Tocayo mean?
Yeah. By the way, Jeremy's like Portuguese or something. Right. He doesn't even.
It sounds like he's Japanese now.
And Mexican-inspired beers?
Yeah.
Mexican-inspired beers were German beers because German immigrants came over to Mexico and made Vienna lagers.
Well, and on top of all that, the first beer they announced is Hominy White Ale, which is a Belgian thing. So they're all over the freaking map. They don't know what they're doing. Two Brothers Brewing
has hominy in it.
That's grits.
It's not Belgian.
Two Brothers Brewing has been contracted to produce the beer out of its facility in Warrenville, Illinois.
Oh, that sounds like a nice place.
I just pictured the scene from Being John Malkovich, where every single person in the bar is Warren. Future Tocayo styles will be developed and tested at Bayless's Cruz Blanca brewery. So I guess he's starting his own brewery, but he's contracting out in the meantime. That's expected to open this spring, and he's got Constellation Brands behind him. So more big boys getting into the craft beer game. That's awesome.
Weird times, boys. Weird times.
Yeah. All right. There you go. That is the news brought to you by the Wine and Hop Shop, wineandhop.com in Madison, Wisconsin. And you can find Omega yeast and Giga yeast there. And here's a good one. From their bullet points here. Brewers at over 10 different breweries and brew pubs, including 6 Points and Ale Asylum, got their start working at the Wine and Hop Shop.
Nice.
So they are a breeding ground for awesome brewers, and they sell great stuff. Wineandhop.com.
Hey, support these guys. They've been supporting us right when we need it. And pay attention to our sponsors. It's no small thing. They keep the show on the air and free for you to get. So go check them out at Wine and Hop Shop.
Muy importante.
All right, so I want to get out of here. Do you have great Drunk of the Week voicemails? Or should we just give it to Zach?
Give it to Zach. We'll save him.
I want to know if Zach has peed.
Yeah. Did Zach
Zach has not peed, but I did have a third conversation with him where he said that I got 2 votes. And then there was another show where I also had 2 votes, so that if I extrapolated them, I would have 4 votes for him tonight.
What the fuck is he talking
I don't know. But he was like, so 4 votes for Zach, I win.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach is our Drunk of the Week tonight. Yeah. Mostly because I feel bad for Kelly. So, there you go. No. All right, and then let's get through our Twitter game. Twitter game tonight was...
It was on the heels of Jester King. Did I get that right finally?
Yeah. Yeah.
Going off the script, so to speak, from the brown bottles and bottling some of their product in green bottles.
Yep.
How can us as homebrewers further devolve the industry and make shitty beers?
Okay.
Yeah.
A fine question. What did people say out in the Twitter sphere?
Well, Optimus Prime.
Oh, F you.
Wow. Bev cackled.
Yeah, just cackled.
That's the worst name I've ever heard.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. He says, says doing collaborations with Justin.
Good call.
That'd be a great way
to you'd be better off putting your beer in a green bottle.
Scott Thompson says listening to the Brewing Network is a good start.
Now, come on. That's not even appropriate.
That's blasphemy.
Giles Hash says sending it in to Dr. Homebrew.
Oh.
Wow, they're really extra harsh tonight.
Yeah.
Haters going to hate.
I guess we were too, though.
Nathan T. Hoskins says...
yeah, John P. Haskell!
Yeah. He's the Dodge dealership on the other side of town.
I brew beer in the back of my Dodge at 65 miles an hour.
Give me all brew dogs. Fuck you, brew dog.
Yeah.
You can't do that shit.
Try it. Whatever in the safety of your goddamn freight train, I'm in the back of a Dodge.
I'm plucking jackrabbits doing 50 miles an hour. Pitching yeast. Don't give a shit.
I got a 22 in one hand and a goddamn match paddle in the other.
Don't break for a 6-point buck down here, motherfucker.
I'm American.
Take your crappy beer somewhere else. Nathan Hoskins says use dual-purpose beer bottles that double as sex toys. That's # anal flush.
Nathan T. Hop.
All right. That was complicated.
Yeah. Ben Northeim, whatever. Ben says, start ruining their beers. Little too late for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Blobberglop says, culturing yeast from our taints. Because using only vagina yeast is sexist.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
And then he gives some names of potential beers.
No, that's all right. That's
fine. But Analingus Ale is pretty good.
That's
a good name.
Taint PA.
Oh, God. Chris B. says, nothing goes better with a Helles than a nice wedge of butter on the glass to really bring out those diacetyl notes.
I kind of like that idea. Just
butter
actually
garnish.
sticking a little wedge of butter on there. All right.
Yeah.
I lulled.
Brandon Jesse says, open fermentation at club night at MHC. Yeast Fart Brown Ale.
I'm not writing that one down.
Okay. Austin says, instead of sending beer to space, homebrewers decide to sink their beer in the ocean for many years, then proclaim greatness.
Oh, like Brewdog?
Apparently.
There you go.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't get it, but I thought it was funny. Sean Carney says, brewing their IPAs East Coast style.
That's harsh.
That's it. Those are them all.
All right, the ones that I put in the finals were Brew With Me, Taint Yeast, and Butter Wedge.
Butter Wedge.
Everybody likes Butter Wedge?
Oh, I didn't know we were voting.
You all just repeated it like you liked it.
I do.
Tasty did.
I do.
Oh, well, if everyone likes it, then sure.
Well, we can vote.
Well, my vote is irrelevant if, like...
I lulled. I'll give it to Butterwedge.
Butterwedge.
All right, that's our Twitter game winner. And tell me it's not, what's his name again?
No.
HH.
His wasn't very good.
HH Ball Snitch. Sorry.
D.R. Housley.
I forget. Where the fuck is it?
All right.
Austin. No, that's not Austin. It's Chris B.
There you go. Chris B. Butterwedge, send yourself an email to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com.
Butterwedge.
That's his new name.
I want him to win the cruise just so we can call him Butterwedge all week. You're now entered for a chance to win a cabin on the Labruski cruise. So send Bevo an email, Butterwedge. I want him to be semi-large. A little overweight and bald and buttery, a little sweaty. I want him to be a little sweaty. And I want to call him Butterwedge all week.
Please make the subject in this email Butterwedge.
Butterwedge.
You can use butter on his skin
I
at
can
the
see
beach.
everybody.
Well, you could share some of your coconut oil with him, Bevo, and
It's great for your skin.
Butterwedge.
Great for your skin.
He's like, that's what they called me in high school.
TL Butterwedge.
TL Butterwedge. If you can't lube it, we'll. I don't know. I needed a tablet. If we can't lube it, I don't know.
Prove it. Say we can't lube it. Prove it.
Some random commercial in a small town hotel.
Oh God.
All right. Are we done?
Thinking. Yes.
I don't know. Are you?
I'm close. I'm getting there. It's almost all out. All right, let's get out of here. I don't know what's happening
We're
next
on
week.
next week. We'll see you next week.
We'll be on next week, working on a couple different topics for you, so we'll let you know what's happening. And thanks once again to our guest tonight, Scratchtown Brewing Company out of Ord, Nebraska. Go check them out. Caleb and Mike, good guys. They sent us some nice beer, and it was fun to talk with them, so I just want to thank them for doing that. Jeremy, thanks for bringing in beer.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That was nice. Good luck getting back to Virginia.
Yeah, good luck getting a burrito out there.
Yeah, I don't know what the nickname you give me.
Yeah, they have Taco
Butterwedge.
They have Taco
You're
Bell
lucky
there, right?
it's not Butterwedge, Jeremy.
I'll see you at NHC.
All right, brother. We'll see you out there. All right, JP, you going to get us out of here?
Yep, please.
Let's go home, everybody.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Scratchtown Brewing Company conquered Skype and was able to join us for a great segment about beers and cows and what to do when neither are around. Check them out at scratchtownbrewingcompany.com. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as Terrence, JP, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Sounds like a real treat. Go to check out Moscow's Hop Cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren was still blind. Production director on the session has been Pushy.
Gee, Haskell Balls!
Today's show is produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP was waiting to go play the Star Wars Battlefront beta because he's awesome. Bevo was talking to Weiss Pissers all night. And your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
TR Butterwedge.
Butterwedge!
Straight